Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? Can y'all hear me? I need to know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. Can you hear me? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fellas? Let's talk about it. Y'all already know what it is. Let me lower my mic a little bit. Hopefully y'all can still hear me loud and clear. Shout G, I'm good. The volume good. I want to make sure I'm not peeking into anything. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've been live. Been under the weather, y'all. Been under the weather. Been traveling. Been out of the country. You know what I'm saying? Been putting my passport to some use. I'm back, feeling a little bit better. Now I want to talk some shit. Come on in, hit the like button. Y'all know what time it is. Mello is Lil Rodney's son. What up, player? Salute to you, brother. Joshua Carter, what's good, player? Classic 153 in the house, what's good, player? Shout G. Wanker 76, what's good? Neon Berry, I see you, player. I see you. To die for, my brother. Salute to you. Man, thank y'all for coming to rock out with me on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Dribble Piss in the house was good, my brother. Zero Steel. Who else? Buck. Hey, Buck. Hey, I came and I was looking for you. I thought we was gonna go live, but then I seen Ricky Brown was live. Y'all was in there, so I ain't want to bother you on that. Navy Vet was good. Bruh, man from the 5th floor. What's good, player? What is good, player? Hey, Buck, if you want, you can jump in. I think the Discord is linked. The Discord audio is linked, so I'm gonna add that in. So if you want, I think you can jump in, brother. Danielle Brown was good. Lay in the house. Sam Walton, my brother. What is good? What is good? Hey, Buck, can you hear me? Okay. There you go. Hey, can you check the stream and see if they can hear you? Hey. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Hopefully y'all can, okay. Yeah, hopefully they can hear you loud and clear. Dita Board was good. Wait, you can't hear yourself? Can y'all hear? Oh, they said they can't hear Buck. Hold on, let me add it. We gotta make sure we hear Buck. Yeah. Nah, we gonna add you in here, player. Okay. Say something else, Buck. I need to know if y'all can hear Buck. Yeah. Can y'all hear Buck? Yeah. All right, Pastor Joe was good. Yeah, I'm live. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get the Discord in here so they can hear you guys. Let me see. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh man, start me out, Pastor Joe. They said that they can't hear you, so let me go and add the Discord again. Y'all just bear with me. We're gonna get to the shit talking. I want to make sure y'all can hear my brothers. Hey Buck, would it be audio input or audio output? It will be desktop audio. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Browser source, audio input capture, audio output capture. Stream audio. Say something, Buck.
Check.
I think they can hear y'all now. Hey, Pastor Joe, say something.
Testing one.
Oh, they can hear us clear. All right, there we are.
There you go.
The ponies right now is climbing a tree.
Okay, Terrence Sings.
How about this? How about this then? Because I know you're not going to be going too long. JayDub, we'll cover all the fucking Xbox shit on your shit, and if we're still going, we'll cut it over to my shit, and maybe we'll talk about some disclosure alien shit. If we're still up to it. You know?
Absolutely.
We'll do it like that.
My brother Eric MMG in the house. Zero Steel was good. Neon Berry, he said it's fixed. Good, man. We good. We in the game.
Because I ain't got too much to say on this. I've been pretty consistent on my.
We just
on this,
yeah.
Pastor Joe, I do want to hear what Pastor Joe has to say too, as well as you. So.
Oh man.
I just want to hear from their perspective because they're in a different bubble than I'm in, and even that you're in. Because
well, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Actually, we're not in a bubble. We're in a penthouse right now, sipping on champagne.
You're the boy in the plastic bubble. John Travolta.
Oh,
Do
you even know that reference? I don't think he does.
Yes, I was the guy who used to be in the bubble who could not come out because he would have died.
Yeah.
It was a movie, yeah. I know
Okay.
I'm not that young.
My bad.
Okay, let me see something.
And then he went on a road trip and all that.
Oh no, that was Bubble Boy.
Oh, that's Bubble Boy.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think John Travolta. Spoiler alert: he might have died at the end.
Salute to Miguel, man. We got a new subscriber, Miguel. Salute to you, player. Salute to you, man. We appreciate it. We finna get started. I just want to make sure everything was okay with the audio. Make sure the stream is good. Pastor Joe Buck, if you can, just in the background, just make sure you got the thing up. It's kind of helped me out a little bit.
Yeah. I'm watching it.
All right. So we good.
We're all working together on this DIY. You know, this ain't kind of our usual fare, but this is how we're making sure everybody can express themselves in this time of change.
Yeah. Star Guardian in the house was good, player. Let's see. This is how I want to start this topic, man. thanks everybody that's coming in to listen to me talk my shit. You know, we got Pastor Joe in the house. We got my brother Buck. If y'all can hit that like button, I want to give a salute out to my brother Next Gen 720. Hope he's doing well. Hope he's back pretty soon. We miss you, brother. You know, take care of whatever you got to take care of. We gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna hold it down, and we gonna pop our shit and do Next Gen 720 Johnson style. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Now that we got that out the way, as y'all can see in the title and the description, Xbox fanboys have finally accepted mental illness as a cover-up for Xbox failures. Yes, that is as accurate as I can put it. And I'm going to explain why.
Okay, man. I'm listening to your monologue. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, and I'm going to tell you why. For the last 10 years, I don't know if it's been 10 years, but y'all know what I mean. It's been some time. We've been back here on these podcasts talking shit about how my game is better than your game and your game is better than my game. And that's kind of been the flow. Xbox would put out a game, Halo, Gears, and Forza. You guys would proclaim it to be the best game ever. Sony would output a game, Horizon, God of War, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, Uncharted, blah, 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 on and on and on. That's how we do. That was a perfect balance. That was a great balance, right? Even the hardware. My console has more T-flops than your console. My console has full RDNA and yours doesn't. That was a great argument. That was a great stance. That's something that has played out since the Nintendo and Sega days and even before then. You know, that was the enjoyment. We've always had a console war. But something has changed within the last 2 years. It didn't just start 2 years ago, but it's been amplified over the last 2 years. And I think, again, it comes from the Xbox failure. Last generation, shout out to my brother Mac. Last generation, I think we've all accepted that Xbox One wasn't the best console. It had a lot of mistakes. They really didn't have a lot of games. And so they had a ton of mistakes. But I think everyone assumed that they would double down, come back, and continue to fight. And when that didn't happen, that kind of messed up a lot of Xbox fanboys. Now, we all know every generation you have a reset. We call it the Great Reset, just like the Matrix. Day one, my console launch, your console launch. We're going to see who has the best console, the best games, and everything else. And out the gate, prior to this generation, the Xbox had the most power. It had the better, on paper, designed console. It had the full RDNA 2, the Velocity engine, the Rapid Pack Math, the 25 T-flops of ray tracing cores, and on and on and on, right? It was eating monsters for breakfast. So they had the power of narrative again. They won the power narrative. But most of all, the most important part was the games. We know what happened. Halo was supposed to be a launch title. It failed to launch. They didn't have anything else ready. So the first year was a wash. No games. If you want to count the Medium, if you want to count the Falconeer, go ahead. But for the most part, Xbox launched 2 next generation consoles with no games. That did something to the psychic of the Xbox fanboy. They were in disbelief that Microsoft again was unaware that this generation was coming. Salute to you, J767. Thank you for subscribing, brother. So they again was unaware that Microsoft wasn't going to be ready for this generation. We had my brother post up out there saying how PlayStation had launched this console too early. It wasn't ready. It wasn't full RDNA 2. It didn't have a lot of features and functionality because they rushed it. And this came, you know, we heard that from the RDX boys. We heard that from JS Corden and those guys over at Windows Central. Everyone was saying this. Major Nelson, Destin Legary, all of these people said that PlayStation wasn't ready for this generation. But some kind of but some kind of way PlayStation found a way to launch its console with next generation games and cross-gen games. It had I think it launched with seven games. That includes Miles Morales, Demon Souls, and so forth and so on, you know. And Xbox didn't launch with anything. So that was year one. That was a wash. Year two, Halo launched. It was a dud. That was disheartening. Then that following year, last year, 2022, Xbox didn't launch. They didn't release one single game from the first party. And then I think that was the nail in the coffin for the Xbox fanboys' mental state. Because they realized here we are, another generation with no goddamn games.
This is laughing like crazy back there.
Uh-huh. I mean, Shadow Ghost was good. My brother was good. Muck was good.
It is good. It is good to bring this back up every once in a while, so we have this timeline because we're in different narratives now. And you're right; they're riding high on cloud 9, but
yes,
it was.
I'm setting.
Put it in order.
I'm setting the stage. I'm setting the stage for the topic we're going to talk about.
Chronological.
Today. Yes, because I want to make sure nobody missed out on anything. Right. So we started with last generation. We leaked on to this generation. Here we are in 2023. Their first next generation game, 30 frames a second, no ray tracing, no next generation features, is a dud. 50-something Metacritic, right? And this is after Microsoft jacked the prices up on their next generation games, right? To $70. So, with that being said, that's going to bring us to present time. Again, the enjoyment of fighting game for game, hardware for hardware, feature for feature was very fun. And we've did that for the last 23 years, 24 years since Microsoft has been in the gaming. Phil Spencer came out maybe about a month ago. He gave a very brutally honest statement on the state of Xbox. He said that Starfield can be a 11 out of 10 and it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change anything with Xbox. He said that they could not compete with Sony and Nintendo because those guys are already entrenched. They already, have this gaming thing down packed. And he said that, and I think most fanboys had to accept that reality. But something happened within the last 3 weeks to where the psychic of Phil Spencer saying that has turned the Xbox fanboy away from the games over into a whole nother avenue. And that avenue cannot be debated or argued with. It's so bad these guys were watching CNN and C-SPAN and some of the other news and cable outlets and court reportings. I mean, you had guys showing up to courthouses listening in on corporate business. Mind you, none of it had anything to do with the gaming on the Xbox console. It was really about Microsoft's business. And I think that's where the discrepancy is. It's, you couldn't win in gaming, so let's move over to the business side of things. Let's go over to the Microsoft side of things. And I think that's where that huge disconnect, that's where the zombies, I call them the Xbox zombies, come out. You had guys that hadn't had any games in Game Pass such a long time that was worthwhile. And these guys are just basically went rabid. They're attacking female congressmen. They're attacking the president of the United States.
Warriors of the middle class.
Yes.
And the lower class.
These guys that are actually getting food stamps actually turned to be Republicans all over Microsoft's $3 trillion business. These guys, some of my closest friends, I've seen them turn into rabid people overnight.
People
And I'm wondering what the hell happened.
People who are quote unquote woke.
Yes.
I've watched they're supporting goddamn Tommy Tuberville and fucking Jeff. What are we doing here? What the hell?
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan.
It's
Are you kidding me?
Again,
it's not just any Republican. Well, I mean, fuck
dudes
being a Republican. It ain't
turned.
that.
Listen, I've seen the most diehard liberal, progressive Xbox fanboys turn into MAGA overnight, Trump supporters. I can't believe it before my very eyes. People who wait for the first of the month to get the food stamp checks have literally started voting for the opposition who are against that. I just don't understand it. They literally said, we don't care about the games. This is no longer about games. This is about us making sure a $3 trillion company have more. Buck, what happened? And I noticed this kind of happened when Next Gen 720 left. When he left, I think everything just went to shit. He was the guy to keep shit in order, to tell these bots that they crazy.
There's some science to that actually, because it's not just that, but even my mental health has taken a turn for the worse.
See?
Honestly, this deal supposedly closing recently, and remember we started doing these shows this week, right?
Yeah.
That kind of got me out of a depression, to be honest. It was like, oh, finally something to talk about. And
absolutely.
So it made it kind of fun again. I got out of a fucking 2-week goddamn depression. And when did that depression start? Started when Damu.
Yeah, big Damu.
Yeah.
So
there's something to that. It keeps that shit in order. It keeps the whole universe in order.
Listen,
I think you're right, JayDub, that it was when Phil said that. Because as soon as he did that interview, Tim Dog and the rest of them were posting shit on social media nonstop for like 2 weeks about that shit.
Yeah, and it had nothing again. Go ahead, Pastor Joe.
Sorry to say, but that monologue you just had there was 15 minutes of coping.
That's not a monologue, sir. That's not a monologue. That's a soliloquy. That's my soliloquy.
Beautiful.
Yes.
A soliloquy, right?
Yes.
That was 15 minutes of coping. Number one, we all know what happened to Microsoft at the launch of the Xbox One generation, right? They did a terrible job, and because of that, they lost a lot of gamers, right? Now, when Phil took over and was responsible for launching the Xbox Series X, he decided to do something a bit different, which obviously would have left some of the die-hard fans, lose faith in the Xbox brand, right? He started, instead of renting games, he wanted to start to own games, own the publishers, own the IPs, right? And that was basically Phil building back a different type of Xbox brand, leaving the idea of the shooter box and making the new Xbox Series consoles more appealing for a variety of gamers, not just the Mountain Dew drinking guys playing COD, right? Yeah. So because that building block was being set up, it is obvious that the games that Phil and the other leadership used to give the Xbox fans in the Xbox One generation, they would not have gotten that type of deals, those types of games initially. And Phil said it. Any person who bought a Series console in the first year or the first 2 years, they knew that Phil said that, here what, we will have no new first party AAA games for the first 2 years.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
Nobody. No.
Just because
Pastor
you
Joe,
didn't mean everybody else did.
Listen, are you telling me that people go out? For example, let's say I'm in the market for a pickup truck. And are you telling me that if I go to buy a pickup truck, the dealer and the manufacturer going to tell me, hey, listen, you buy this pickup truck, but don't expect no tires for this pickup truck for 2 years? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, the dealership could say that, but it's your choice now if to buy it or not. There's nothing. I mean, the dealership could say whatever. The dealership could say, here what, it's not an engine in this car. It's basically a barbecue grill. It's you now to say, here what, am I buying this vehicle to barbecue chicken, to barbecue lamb, or is it that I'm buying this vehicle to drive?
See, guys,
you have to decide, right?
You see, guys, when I mentioned the zombies, do you see that logic Pastor Joe just gave you?
Yes, of course.
Imagine going to a car lot and buying a car and them telling you you're not going to get an engine for 2 years. Pastor Joe is saying that this happened with Xbox. That Phil told you that you won't get any games, so don't.
Did Phil say that, JayDub? Did Phil say it?
No, he didn't.
That's the point.
No company would ever.
Let me get the article.
Go ahead.
So I remember that distinctly reading that Phil said there will be no first-party AAA support or Xbox Series X exclusive games for 2 years. He said that. He said he will support both the Xbox Series games that would upscale. He will be basically making cross-generation games.
So, you know what, Pastor Joe?
Yeah.
Supporting is different than saying you're not going to have any next generation games. Even Jim Ryan, right, said that they were going to be able to support the PlayStation 4 for a couple of years. But day one, you had next generation exclusives. You can have both. You don't have to just rely on all of the old games that you had last generation. That nobody who bought an Xbox expected to go 3 years without any next generation games. And nobody damn sure expected to go 3 years and finally get a first party next generation game that's 30 frames a second, no next generation features, no ray tracing, no nothing. And then nobody expected your second next generation game to be 30 frames a second, no ray tracing, no next generation features. Do you see what I'm saying, Pastor Joe? What is your expectation for next generation? What does next generation mean to you, Pastor Joe?
Next generation means better looking games, better running games, new experiences, new mechanics when it comes to games.
So
right?
have you gotten that with Xbox Series so far?
Definitely.
Where? Name.
We have
What games?
we have gotten
what games?
Smoother games when it comes to like
No.
Infinite.
No ray tracing.
No. We're talking about next
Yeah,
generation
that's
games. We're talking about next. We ain't talking about the old back-to-back games. We ain't talking about last gen games. Next generation
no ray
games.
tracing.
Well, next generation, what we would have gotten was Flight
No.
Simulator.
Pastor Joe.
Rush.
Listen,
We
Pastor
have
Joe.
gotten,
Hold on, Pastor Joe.
what's that?
Name the next generation games that has next generation features.
Hi-Fi Rush, Forza Motorsport, Flight Simulator, and we have others coming, of course.
What next generation features? For one, Forza is a cross-gen game. Flight Simulation is a cross-gen game. What? So I'm asking you, what next generation game has next? Go ahead.
Listen, although Forza is a cross-platform game,
It doesn't
there
matter.
There are certain things that you will be able to see visually on
I
a
asked
series
you,
console
but Pastor,
compared to our Xbox One console.
I asked you specifically, right? I was very clear, Pastor Joe. I'm very clear. I said no backwards compatibility games and no last gen games. Only next generation games. That's what I'm asking you.
So far, we all know that there was only been 2 exclusive next generation games. That is Redfall, right? Which was a dud. I could admit that. And the marvelous, the ever young Hi-Fi Rush. That's exclusive for the Series X.
What next generation features did that game have?
4K 60.
It's an indie game, Pastor. That's 4K 60 is not next generation. Go ahead, give me some next generation features.
Well, actually, it has a higher frame rate than Returnal. I mean, would you say that Returnal is a next generation game?
Returnal has 120 frames, sir. And it has ray tracing. And it has ray tracing.
When Returnal was launched, it was not.
It was 60. It was 60 frames a second. It don't matter. It's 120 now.
It was 1080p, correct?
No, it was Pastor Joe.
Yes.
It's a next generation. Listen, it has next generation features such as instant loading, 120 frames, 60 frame options.
Not at launch.
Okay.
You see,
So what? It didn't have it at launch. They fucking have it. That's the difference.
Okay, when it is Redfall gets this, would this narrative die? When if Redfall,
when it gets 60 FPS, by then the game is probably going to be dead.
If Redfall gets 60 frames per second and all of that, after the fact.
Yeah, but when are they getting 60 FPS? Nobody knows.
Listen, if and when it gets, because it's going to happen. When it does, right?
So hold on. Pastor Joe, hold on. Let's make this clear.
Not if there's not enough big enough player base. They're just going to cut their losses, and that's the end of it. That's how it works.
Let's make this clear. When Returnal launched, it launched with 2 modes, right? It had a performance mode and it had a standard mode. The standard mode was 1440p, 60 frames a second. It had ray tracing, it had instant loading, it had 3D audio, it had DualSense haptic feedback. Those are next generation only features that can't be had on the PlayStation 4. That's what define next generation features. So all I'm saying, Pastor Joe, is name me these next generation features in these next generation games that Xbox have. And you have yet to say that, and you're going around the way to try to muddy the water. I just want to stick to the facts so we can move forward.
The facts is, we all know that. I knew it, but I had the information. Phil said it. All who are buying, the early adopters for the series.
When did he say that? And do you have the article? Let
me pull the article. It's an article from VGC.
VGC. Okay, yeah. Get the article and give me the date on that. Because
that was probably 2 to 3 years ago, more than likely. That was probably 2020, 2021, more than likely.
When the console launches, when it launches.
Because here's the thing. Even though Jim Ryan said that he's going to support next generation games and he's going to support cross-gen games for a couple of years, he still delivered next generation games as well as supported the cross-gen games.
Right. So
As well, wait. Even the cross-gen games that he gave you supported next-generation features, such as instant loading, 3D audio, DualSense. I'm telling you what Jim Ryan provided, right? And I want you to tell me what Phil Spencer provided. So even the cross-gen games that Jim...
No, you get the argument I'm saying, Jido. Now, it can be argued that what Phil and they did by not providing these exclusive games for the console, yes, one could argue that that was a bad look, right?
Okay.
But I mean, you cannot, if it is a company lied and say, here what, we will be supporting exclusive games from day one on the console, and then after they recant on that and did not deliver, then we could hold the Xbox executives' foot to the fire. However, they said that straight up, that here what, for the next few years, the majority of games being launched on the Xbox Series console would be cross-generation games. Where to post the article is an article from GameStop, and they say basically saying the exact same thing I am saying here. Where can I post this link for you?
When's the date of the article?
Right here in the general. Just post it in the general right here. Where we
General.
are. Yeah.
Okay, general.
Yeah. I refuse to believe in exactly.
and that article is probably from 2020 or 2021.
Yes, it would be from 2020 because Phil said it before the console will launch, that when the console does launch, they will not have exclusive
So
games.
then that should have ran out last year then.
Listen, that's a different discussion. The discussion was just the talking point that JayDub is making is that
2 years from 2020 is 2022.
The argument that JayDub is making is that Phil Spencer and the team did not produce any first-party content from day one, and I agree with that. Phil Spencer said that from the beginning.
Okay, right? Pastor Joe, maybe you have the article.
That doesn't mean he gets a pass.
But I refuse, Pastor Joe, I refuse to believe that they can launch not just one next generation console, but two of them, and tell you you're not going to get any next generation games for 3 years. I just refuse that any corporation would do that.
It is the gamer's choice.
But Pastor Joe, that's not straight up. Pastor Joe, let me tell you how they weren't straightforward. When I got my Xbox Series X, on the box, it had Halo on the box, right? It was marketed to have Halo day one on the box. Did we get Halo day one?
No.
We got it, year two? Almost 2.5 years, right? Okay. So okay. So hold on. So that's one lie. That's false advertising right there, right?
No.
Am I lying? Am I lying?
Yeah.
It was on the box. It was literally on the box.
Listen, the reason why Halo Infinite went back into the cooker is because of the public outroar that this game was clearly missing some things, so it went back to cook. But initially, they were sending this game out unfinished, like most companies do, at launch.
Okay, and that was okay, Pastor? Right? That was okay, Pastor?
Of course it was not okay. Of course it was not okay, JayDub. That is why it went back in the cooker.
Okay, so how about this, Pastor Joe? How about they put it back in the cooker and it still didn't come out with a lot of features and functionalities that they promised? And then let's skip 2 years later. They're coming out with their first next generation only game, Redfall.
In the split screen they promised.
After they delayed it a whole year, it still came out at 30 frames a second and none of the features that they promised, right?
I sent the article right there. What first?
Okay.
Right in general, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What you saying? Mm-hmm.
But what about all of you guys? You guys were just as big on the marketing.
But that's no. I don't want.
So what if I wasn't paying attention to Phil, but I was paying attention to you, and you were telling me all this crazy shit? I got duped.
No, I would tell you.
That article's from July of 2020, so that time's been done and over with.
Yes, that have been done and over with. And guess what? they had a right to, as somebody said it, to make third-party deals in the event that they don't get their stuff out in time, right? That's on the management, that's on Phil. He need to be held, his foot need to be held to the fire for that, right?
Well, no, Phil said at the court interview that he couldn't do third-party deals because PlayStation and Nintendo was buying everything up, that they couldn't outspend them.
He was lying.
No, I don't think
He was crying that they couldn't do deals.
I don't think he said they could not outspend them. I don't think that.
Okay.
Well,
So
why are you doing those deals whenever they have bigger pockets than everybody?
I don't think.
So they chose not to do those deals.
well, the argument.
Again, I told you guys that Phil Spencer and the team, their mindset, since the launch of since Phil took over, is not just renting games. They were making a play to own these games. They were going from renting to homeowners. That is why they bought up so many studios throughout Phil Spencer tenure.
So,
right?
so how about this, Pastor Joe?
They're buying that because they can't create enough games fast enough. They needed to build out so they can make their own games for Game Pass. That's what it's really about.
I would agree with that, Heath. That they needed to put content on Game Pass. So that's why they bought so.
Let me ask you this, Pastor Joe. Let me ask you this. Okay. So with 3 years, we're going on 4 years into the generation. We're going on 2024.
No, this is 3 years. So
no. Listen.
We are getting content.
Listen to me. It's 2023 this year. We're heading. This is halftime, right? This is July. This is past halftime. We're working towards 2024. So this generation probably lasts 7 years, right? So we're like at halftime, a little bit. We're at halftime, and Xbox has yet to drop any next generation games with any next generation. Oh, okay, go ahead. Tell me. What name them? Name them. Hello.
Sorry.
You gonna name them?
This is where you try to spin the narrative.
I'm asking a question. I just want you to answer.
Let me just say this. I'll answer your question. Let me just say this. Now, the ponies was right to call out the management of Xbox when they did not deliver games for the first 2 years. Although they said it, the console
first 3 years.
At the end. No, the console launched at the end of 2020. So let's say November 2020. That's November 2020 to November 2021 is 1 year. No, November 2021 to November 2022 is 2 years. So we are 2 years and let's say 7 to 8 months in, not 3 full years as you had JayDub. As you like to spin that narrative. Okay, that's number one.
Okay, right? call it 2 and 3 in 3 quarters. 2 and 3 quarters, right? Okay, 2 and 3 quarters.
3 fucking years.
So okay.
Cut hairs here.
We are not going to 4 years.
Okay. Two. Okay, I know. I want to agree with you. 2 and 3 quarters, right? So in 2 and 3 quarters. So you do know with Microsoft buying Blizzard, Activision, all that stuff, right? Before you get any new games out of that, it's going to take another 4 or 5 years. So again, we're gonna be in a whole nother generation, Pastor Joe. That's what I'm saying. Do you agree with me?
That's a lie. So far,
okay. When do you?
When do you?
I'm asking you right from this deal because we already know Hi-Fi Rush and all other games that they launch were already being developed prior to this generation started, right? So I'm saying from the deals that they've done with Blizzard, Activision, and some of the others, starting a new IP, it takes, we already know, 3, 4, 5 years. We're already 2 and 3 quarters years into this generation. Do you agree that before we see the fruits of these purchases, right, for new IPs for your console or your ecosystem or whatever, it's going to be another 4 years, another 5 years, potentially next generation. So that means you have spent all this money on a next generation console, but you won't reap the rewards until you spend another $500 on another console for the next generation. That's what I'm asking you.
Actually, no. I know that's a failed talking point by
I'm asking. I'm just asking. I'm just
no,
asking you.
No, just no. We will get to that.
Math,
I want to call out. You know, the hypocrisy. I want to call out the hypocrisy, right?
Okay.
So the hypocrisy is, for 2.5 years, Microsoft did not have first-party games, which the higher-ups did say that they would not have exclusive Series X games for the first 2 years. I have the article. You didn't show it up on the screen, right? I have the article. That's the article there that proved it, right? Now, it was dependent on the gamer to choose if they wanted to invest in Microsoft or not. So nobody went into Microsoft being deceived or went into the Xbox platform being deceived. They knew what they were getting ahead of time, right? Now, so far for the...
I don't agree with that.
So far for 2023, right? Despite all the good games, well, they had good, most of them was not big AAA games, but it had some good AA games.
Name these games. Name these games.
Okay, let me name some games here for you.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, nobody agrees with them, but I mean, let them cook.
Right, we had Warhammer. Warhammer was, is it 40,000?
That's PC. That's on PC only.
That's a third-party game. We also had. That's PC. We're talking about console. We're talking about Xbox. Listen, we had Deathloop. We had.
Wait,
Grounded,
that was a PlayStation exclusive for a whole year.
Listen. I'm talking about through 2021 into 2022.
Yeah,
we had
Grounded was out 2 years before.
We had Age of Empire. We had
that was PC exclusive.
We had Halo Infinite. Listen, so those was the games that came out from Microsoft Studios and their third-party deals, right? Man. We had Dust Falls. We had all those games, right? Now when it comes to this year, Microsoft has already put in their timeline that when it comes to first-party exclusives, we got Hi-Fi Rush. They attempted to launch our AAA game, which was Redfall. That failed. The next AAA game is Starfield, that is on the horizon very soon, and they are going to knock it out of the ballpark when it comes to Forza Motorsport, right? So we have 4 exclusive. That's not just for 2023 alone. When it comes to Xbox first-party games, there are 4.
Name them.
There are 4.
Name them.
I just named them: Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Starfield, and Forza Motorsports. Those 4 games, it came out from a Microsoft studio, right? And we are not even talking about the deals they made with the other third-party games like Dragon Quest. It's not Dragon Quest, Monster Hunter. That was released on Game Pass. Wulong, that released day 1 on Game Pass.
Wait, hold on, Pastor Joe. Hold on.
There's a lot of games.
Hold on, Pastor Joe. Before you continue. Before you continue. Do you know how crazy it sounds to name a bunch of multi-plats and claim them as exclusive because they come into Game Pass?
No, I did not say it was anyway. Actually,
no,
Jim
you
Ryan
named.
said,
I'm just asking, right? And I don't care what Jim Ryan said. I'm talking to Pastor. It's JayDub and Pastor Joe talking right now, right? I don't care about Jim Ryan.
Because you care about Jim Ryan.
No, I don't. I only care about the games. I care about the PlayStation games. That's all I care about. I didn't watch any court case. I don't parade any executive. I don't. My underwear don't get wet looking at an executive, Pastor Joe. That's not me, right? You got the wrong guy. I only care about the bangers, right? I've only ever said any PlayStation guy will always tell you and show you they only care about the bangers. Only Xbox guys care about the executives and court cases, right? So what I'm saying though, Pastor Joe, what is the hypocrisy, Pastor Joe?
There's a bigger hypocrisy right now in the room because guess what? Although you guys rightfully called out Xbox for the 2 years they didn't have any games, right? I gave you guys that, right? Not one PlayStation fan is calling out PlayStation in 2023 for their lack of first-party games. Where are all these true ponies? Where are the true ponies? And don't tell me anything about they had games
because they delivered Game of the Year bangers for the past 5 years, you weirdo.
Because Pastor Joe, let me Pastor Joe. Wait. Do you want me to? Do you want me to name?
Hit him, JayDub. Hit him with the game.
I mean, I can name the game, all the games that they drop, and the hardware and everything else if you want me to. But if you don't want me to, I won't.
You are going
I'm asking
to
you.
VR.
I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna. If you want me to name all the games that they,
VR games.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Let me bypass the VR game. And I'll do you want me to bypass it? It doesn't matter because I can just name the games, right?
Games, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Exclusives, right? It's exclusive. AAA, not the Hi-Fi Rush, because you know what you did. You'll name a bunch of indie. Hold on, you'll name a bunch of indie Xbox games or some multiplats for Xbox, but then you'll tell me, oh, they can't be indie PlayStation. Do you see what I'm saying? So all I'm gonna say is, PlayStation every single year has delivered. They've always had game of the year. Listen. No, listen. I'm okay. What is the past? Is 2023 the past?
2023.
Is 2023 the past?
2023.
Okay. Do you want me to name them or do you not?
Let me hear. Sorry.
Okay. 2023, right? We got Forspoken. We got Final Fantasy 16. We got Horizon, Call of the Mountain. We got Horizon, Burning Shores. We're gonna have Spider-Man. We just got Synapse. Prior to that, we got several other games, and I can pull them up. We know we getting. I already did that. I already said Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. We got Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man, right? We got Spider-Man, right? Listen, and then on top of that, oh no, wait, let me finish, Pastor Joe. Let me finish, right? Before you go crazy. We know we got the third party sequel. It's called what's the name? Part 2. What's the part 2 of the shooter game? It was the isometric shooter. Now they changed it to a third person shooter. The name is kind of eluding me right now.
Oh yeah, they changed it.
Helldivers 2, right? We got Helldivers 2 coming. We got Firewall 2 coming as well. So I just named you a bunch of games that PlayStation has either released or that's coming that actually got release dates already, right? On top of, right? And I didn't even mention the hardware that they launched this generation, right? We getting a handheld, right? We got fucking PlayStation VR 2, right? Which is exclusive, unfortunately, to PlayStation because Phil Spencer said after he promised you, after he said that you would get it for your Xbox Series X, after he promised you, he reneged on it and said, nah, we're not gonna give it to you. So all I'm gonna say, Pastor,
what about the pasta, JayDub? You buying that?
Yeah, listen. All I'm gonna say, Pastor Joe, is the sad part about it is that we used to argue game for game, and now you stop caring. Listen, you stop caring about the games, and now it's about court cases, and it's about you just buying up stuff where you won't reap the rewards. You won't have new IP for these studios for into next generation, and that's just what it is. If not, give me the release dates for the games. Name the games. Name the next generation games that Activision Blizzard is going to give Xbox. Go ahead.
You are a fish oil salesman, right?
Tell me why I'm lying. Tell me why I'm lying.
And lied again to your audience. You lied to your audience once again.
Tell me the lie, Pastor Joe. Tell me where did I lie? I named the games.
Hear what I asked. I asked for exclusive.
All of those games that I named were AAA and they were exclusive. Where did I lie?
First party AAA exclusive games that you Pony said that what makes a console and that is what Xbox was lacking. I named you first party
games. What are we talking about?
Listen.
This is the zombie. This is why the title. This is the zombie, the rabbit zombie.
Potato. Listen to this potato.
This whole thing's bullshit because he's cherry picking 1 year. How about we go back 3 years and compare both?
My brother in the house, the real D, what's good, player? Silver joysticks, I see you. Neil Agasto, my brother. Hold on 1 second, Pastor Joe. Let me get the people in the chat. Econo Inner Force was good, my brother. The Claymores, I see you. 6'2" on the block, he came in to hate. What's good, my brother? I'm glad you're here. Your baby father was good, player. Dark Zone, I see you. Emperor Gal in the house. We got Freddie Wayne out there hating. Who else we got? Bruh man from the 5th floor, I see you. ACO7 in the house was good. Thriller Ali, John Doe, I see you, player. Enterprise. Team Ambush, C Fresh, thank you for stopping by, my brother. Mike Johnson, my brother. There we go. I think we got everybody. Go ahead, Pastor Joe. The Ruham, my brother, was good. Go ahead and finish capping in line, Pastor Joe. Go ahead.
Yes. So, what you named Forspoken is not a first-party AAA exclusive game. It's a timed exclusive, right? And it's not.
When is it coming to Xbox?
Listen, it's not done. It's not done on one of from Xbox first-party studios.
When
right?
it comes to Xbox. When is it coming to Xbox?
That date is not announced yet, but it's coming very soon, right?
When did it come to Xbox? When? Since you say very soon, when?
No, the date is not announced as yet, but developers saying that they are.
Post the article. Post the article, Pastor Joe, right now.
I'll post
the article right now. Post the article.
So number one,
put it in general.
Is not. Just now, I'll get it for you.
No, we're waiting. We'll wait for you. Post the article right now. Pastor Joe. No, post the article right now. Listen, I'm just saying the chat is calling you a liar, so I don't want them to call you a liar. I think you're a good Christian man, so go ahead and post the link. Go ahead and post the link, Pastor Joe.
Are you saying that Forspoken is not a time exclusive?
No, it's not. Go ahead, Pastor Joe. The chat is telling you. The chat is telling you. So go ahead, take this moment right now, post the article so we can put it on the screen and we can clear your good name, Pastor Joe. That's all I want to say.
If you're not talking to me, then let me get the article.
Okay, go ahead and get the article. We'll continue while you get the article, Pastor Joe. Heath, my brother Heath, what do you have to say for this zombie? What do you have to say about the mental illness that this zombie has?
This is what they do. We know this. He's cherry picking 1 year because he thinks it matters or some shit, and it's like, well, go back another year or two. Go back this whole gen and compare what they've done, and you'll see those games. But here's my thing. I try to find funny that Microsoft has made PlayStation's mistake twice. They just did it in 2 different generations. Now think about this. The PS3, they did what? Came out with multiple consoles, and it was all about the living room. Xbox just made those 2 mistakes over 2 generations.
I sent the article there, right?
Okay, hold on 1 second. I just want to clear my good brother name. That's all I want to do.
You want to clear my name, you sick bastard?
So is there another failure they can?
Right.
They can
wait, hold on, Pastor Joe.
Yeah.
This article is from a publication called Down Low Brothers. What are we doing here, Pastor Joe? No, Pastor Joe, I am not posting an article from Down Low Brothers. Oh man, no. Pastor Joe, no. Listen, I am not posting any article from a publication called Down Low Brothers. Oh man, get out of here, Pastor Joe.
Pastor, do you know how you know that's fake? Because there's no sources or anything.
There's no source, Pastor Joe. That's from Down Low Brothers. We don't. Find another source. We don't do Down Low Brothers articles here, brother. I can't post that on the screen. Pastor Joe, we don't know what article, we don't know what publications Pastor Joe frequent, but I want to clear that, brothers. Yeah. Listen, he gonna post some Down Low Brothers stuff in the. Oh man. Man, not like this.
Well, could you give us the gist of what that article says then? At least, or
yeah.
The same thing. It's basically the same thing. Gamerant is saying that Forspoken will launch on other consoles on 2025, so it's a timed exclusive.
Go ahead, right? Give us the. Go ahead. Okay. Wait. Pastor Joe said in 2025.
Yeah. For 2 years, they
It's
have the
wait.
exclusive.
2025. Let me ask you
The
this.
same
Wait.
thing, the same
Wait. Hold on. Buck,
Right.
how long do you think this generation is going to go?
Well, if we're at the halfway, I'd say 6 to 7 years, right?
Yeah, so that'll make it 2027, right? 2026, 2027.
Yeah.
So
We'll hear
by
by
the
2026.
time Forspoken comes to Xbox, allegedly, it's going to be a new generation. That's all I want to say.
And
Like,
I've never heard of a 2-year timed exclusivity deal. Usually it's 6 months or a year.
yeah.
I sent the article on Game Rant, right? Now, the hypocrisy lies
Hold on.
here is that you guys...
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Let me clear Pastor Joe's name. Let me clear. You know, we got rid of the Download Brothers article. He has one from Game Rant. It says Forspoken's PlayStation exclusivity deal is longer than usual.
Scroll down, yeah. Scroll down.
No. I know, I get it. I just want to clear your good name first, right? He says what's striking about Forspoken, besides its promise and potential, is the deal that Sony has struck to make it time exclusive for console this generation. Okay, so they cut a deal in 2020. It's going to be exclusive until, it says until 2026, Pastor Joe.
No, that's 2025.
Oh, what's the problem?
It says 2026 right here.
Isn't that the Xbox way? I thought you guys wanted games to be more everywhere.
The thing is, we don't care.
Okay,
we don't care about
so for
Forspoken, right?
hold on.
The thing is, JayDub, that I'm
Yeah, but you
showing
have
you
to-
that it's
you have
not
to buy
that
PlayStation now.
Forspoken is not exclusive for PlayStation. It's a lie.
It is right
it's
now.
not a first. It is not
Well,
a
Pastor
first
Joe.
Where else
party.
could you play? Where else could you play it right now?
Wait, Bob.
I want to know
have
where
no
I can
problem.
play.
I have no.
If I wanted to play, if I did, if I wanted
you
to
can
play
only
it.
play it on a PlayStation 5, right?
Okay.
What I'm
there you
saying,
go.
it was
Until
not done.
2026.
It was not done.
That's when
by
all the
a-
marketing is happening,
it
right?
wa-
Right now.
It was not done by Microsoft PlayStation Studio, so it is not first party, right? I asked for first party AAA exclusives. That is what you ponies have been saying.
but Pastor
Microsoft
Joe,
is lacking for all these years.
But Pastor Joe,
right? And
out of
there is
all of
no
those
hypocrisy,
games,
because guess
out of
what?
all of the games that I named, you chose one game to point out and you dismissed the rest. So I don't understand that.
Okay, so that's
No,
one.
it's
So
all the
that's
same shit
that's
to
the
me,
first.
honestly.
That's the first lie. That's the first lie you did there, JayDub. The second game that you called was what? Burning Shores. Burning Shores is DLC. Burning Shores is no new game.
All of
it's
the
DLC.
mountain,
The same
burn
game.
it. Okay,
It is the
okay.
same game that
You know that's only available on the PS5 though.
Listen, they gave additional content for
Burning Shores is only available to play on PS5.
no
You cannot
problem.
play it on old gen.
But do
no,
you do?
no problem. If
do
you
you-
want to take your
but do you,
PS5 and
Pastor
burn it
Joe?
for the show,
But do
no
you?
problem, right?
Okay, so
What
Pastor
I'm
Joe,
saying-
do you not see the hypocrisy on how the standards?
I am seeing
You
it.
no.
I am seeing
Hold
I'm
on,
seeing
Pastor
it
Joe.
there.
Do you see how the standards that you have for PlayStation are so high, and the scrutiny about what PlayStation have to have, it's no longer that the game is an exclusive, but it has to be by first party, and it has to be this, it has to be that, and it
That
can't.
is what
No,
you
wait,
guys
hold on,
said.
Pastor
That
Joe,
is the
hold
narrative
on,
that you
Pastor
guys
Joe,
said.
hold on, Pastor Joe. But
That
when
doesn't
I
justify it,
asked you about Xbox stuff, you go and name me games that came out on PlayStation first for a whole year. And it wouldn't, you see what I'm saying? You dismiss
he named
that's
multiplayer.
crazy.
Warhammer.
You name games that is not even available on Xbox. That's the
Listen,
zombie.
no,
That's the
no,
zombie, the
no,
rabid zombie virus that we're talking
I
about
tell
that's
you,
going on with
listen,
Xbox
listen,
guys
what
right now.
happened? You know what? This is the virus that you have, the cultist virus in your ears, which is ponyism, right? I never said the games that I listed was first-party AAA exclusive.
But
I said Microsoft. Hear what I said. I said Microsoft had other games to play, although they did not have.
But I
first-party
named
AAA
you.
exclusives,
I named
right?
you.
And
I named you all of the games that PlayStation have.
Don't matter.
I named you all the games that PlayStation have that were exclusive, and you dismissed all of them.
You named nothing. You named Forspoken. You named Burning
That
Shores.
is an exclusive. It is.
Because it's PlayStation, but
This
not
is
on
a
Xbox
PlayStation
side,
5
right?
exclusive.
I said
You named shit that they did deals for, but it's bad for PlayStation to do it, right? That's what you're just saying.
You name me next generation first party exclusives. Then go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, JayDub, did I just?
No, go ahead. I'm listening. You go ahead then.
So I named 4 games for you.
No. Name them again. Name me next generation only. No demos. It can't be cross. It can't be available on PC. It can't be available anywhere else. Go ahead, Pastor Joe. No, I'm doing what Pastor Joe's doing. Go ahead, tell me.
No, next generation game that came to the series console is this.
Only on Xbox. Only on Xbox.
Come on,
doesn't exist because all
no,
that shit's
and that's not a AAA. That's not a AAA game. That's not a AAA game. So you can't use Hi-Fi Rush. No.
Right now, Hi-Fi Rush is beating AAA games.
No, it's not a AAA game.
Same line.
Shout out to Sarah Bemry. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Pastor Joe.
Man.
Go ahead. No. You go ahead. You can't use Hi-Fi Rush because it's an indie game. It's not a AAA game. So keep going.
Listen to me. It came from a Microsoft studio.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You said AAA for Sony, so I'm saying AAA for Microsoft. Go ahead.
Let me finish. I named 4 games. Hi-Fi Rush.
That's not a AAA. You can't use that. That's not a AAA. That's not AAA. Okay, Redfall is one.
Starfield and
that's not released yet. It hasn't released yet. It hasn't released yet. Only games that's released. Only games that's released.
It hasn't even dropped yet.
Yes, you can't count something that hasn't came out yet.
JayDub, this is very hypocritical.
I named you games that I gave you 15 games before I got to Spider-Man.
Sorry, Pastor, but you kind of set yourself up on that last one.
You see what I'm saying,
Maybe we should
Pastor?
go talk about something else.
You see what I'm saying, Pastor? Pastor, do you see what happens when I use your logic against you?
No,
you only end up with one game, which is Redfall. You see what I'm saying, Pastor Joe? That's what I'm saying, Pastor Joe.
All those games that you are calling are also coming for PC.
No.
Every game that
that's not true.
Is coming for PC.
That's not true.
What game is not coming for PC? Let me hear what
that's not true. Is it on? Listen, is it on PC right now? No, it's not. So I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me what's coming in 2028. Every 100% of Xbox games is on PC. So you can't count any Xbox games with that logic.
That is the model.
Thank you. Thank you. It don't matter. That's Sony's model. That's the Sony. Listen, Sony's putting its old games on PC. That's Sony's model. It is what it is.
When it comes to console,
it is what it is.
Hi-Fi Rush could only be put on an Xbox console. Right?
Nope.
Redfall can only be put
it's
on
not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. That's not true. I have Hi-Fi Rush. I have it on my Steam Deck and on my ROG Ally.
Well, that is on Game Pass on PC. That they will count that as PC.
Nope. It's on Steam. It's on Steam. That's not. Okay. It's not Game Pass. I don't have Game Pass. I don't have Game Pass, Pastor. So it is what it is, Pastor.
Give you the option. That's a good thing.
So, Pastor, do you see what I'm saying, Pastor? How the rabbit zombie complex come out when you want to accept. Hold on, you want to accept a bunch of multiplats, right? That go everywhere. You want credit for that, but I can't even give PlayStation credit for its own exclusives that can only be played on PlayStation. Like that's crazy. That's the zombie complex.
You guys are going back to these old talking points where Microsoft this year has obliterated every talking point that you guys.
We're only talking about what you brought up, weirdo.
Right? What I'm saying is very clear.
You only have you said it yourself. You only have one game that came out this year. That's next generation, and that's Redfall. So how are we coping, Pastor?
Microsoft is giving gamers a very good deal so far for 2023, right?
What's the deal? What's the deal, Pastor?
Not only are they releasing 4 first-party games.
Name them.
Name them already. I just named them.
Name them.
I said Forspoken, Redfall, Starfield.
Wait, he said Forspoken? He said Forspoken? Oh, man.
No, not Forspoken. I'm talking about...
Man. Oh, man. That's it. That's it. It's over.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, man.
Redfall.
No, you can't use Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush is fucking
You
indie.
can't
It's
use
not
it's
AAA.
indie. It's not
Listen,
AAA.
Hi-Fi Rush is owning more, is owning you ponies' butts like never before. This
Pause.
It doesn't matter. It's still a fucking indie game. It's
Pause,
not
Mr.
AAA.
Pause, Mr. Download Bros article. Come on, man, get out of
Is
here.
having that's not Hi-Fi Rush have you in a bad headspace right now, Heat. That is how excellent this game is. The
Okay.
whole world shouting
Pastor,
for this
Pastor,
game.
I'll give you that it was.
There's two shits about Hi-Fi Rush. That's why it's fucking
It
dead.
wasn't okay,
And the
but we
point
are
is-
we
and guess
are
what?
waiting for Starfield though.
Starfield will shut down everything.
I'm
Starfield would have you, but
Pastor Joe, you said that about Redfall.
I never said that about Redfall.
Yes, you
I
did.
wasn't looking- I
You
wasn't
you were
looking
capping
for
for
it.
Redfall. You
I wasn't
told
looking
us
for
you
Redfall.
told us
I didn't
we were
look
gonna
at it.
cry. You told us that it was gonna be a PlayStation killer, and then now
I
look
never
at
said
it.
that.
Yeah,
I
and
never
look,
said that.
and the sad part about it is
Starfield
your
was
flagship
that.
shooter. Your flagship shooter Halo is dead. It's over. It's literally officially everybody moved on from that game. Everyone left. Everybody left the studio. It's dead. It's over.
Listen
So
what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. This year, Microsoft is giving gamers more value and more content than ever before.
More players.
More players, more
Redfall,
value, more
50
gaming, right?
50 Metacritic
Right?
scores.
Really, listen,
Well, I
listen.
just
50
I just
50
hope the
Metacritic
console
score.
version of Starfield isn't gimped.
Oh, it is good.
I hope
The Series
Starfield
S,
I want it to be
because
really
it's
good
made
on
for the
console.
Series S. Of course, it's going to be
I want it to
gimped.
JayDub,
It's
since
30
that
frames a
showcase-
second. 30 frames a second. No ray tracing. No next generation features. It has
JayDub,
loading screens.
JayDub.
You can't land on the planets. I mean, like.
Since that showcase, you guys have been in a bad headspace, right?
Hey, and JayDub, we're gonna see
Since
more
that-
indie studios skipping Xbox with physical and
Yeah.
just not
Yeah,
putting their
they-
games on there at all.
All of the developers are already skipping Xbox already. They were already starting to just go to PlayStation.
JayDub, you are not the same JayDub. That ABK deal knocked
Well,
the
here's the
world
thing
out.
about Pastor Joe.
Right?
Here's the thing about the
Knocked
ABK
the
deal.
world out.
Pastor
I
Joe.
can agree with that.
Here's the
This
thing
whole-
about the
whole-
ABK deal, right?
It
Again,
knocked everybody.
it created the mental ill. It created
Got
the
a
mental.
contusion.
It created the mental illness, right? And this is why I named the podcast what I named it. That deal. Listen, it created a mental illness in the Xbox guys to where you guys hold on, Pastor. You guys were watching C-SPAN. You guys were attacking politicians. You turned into Republicans when you were Democrats. You did a lot of stuff all just to have the same games that you were going to have anyway. The PlayStation get these games. You guys get these games. PC guys get these games. Even Nintendo Switch are getting these games. So nothing has changed. That's why I said it created the zombie complex.
That's a lie.
You
JayDub.
guys are zombies.
Everything has changed.
You couldn't win in the games, right? You couldn't. Hold on. You couldn't win in next generation games. You couldn't win in new creative IP. You couldn't win with VR. You couldn't win with the power narrative. You couldn't win with none of that. So what you guys did, you changed and went in a whole different direction. You guys started capping for some crazy shit that made you guys look crazy like zombies. That's why I call you're rabid zombies right now. What are you even arguing for?
Okay, let me just say one thing before we continue, JayDub, right? First of all, if the ABK deal was lost from Microsoft, if it is the CMA and the FTC won, Microsoft would have still be doing very good for the year, right? Because guess what? That showcase that they showed didn't really focus on anything from the ABK deal. That showcase that was shown this year showed what was coming on the horizon, and we know that there are many other games coming onto the horizon, right? So without even they showing anything from ABK, Microsoft won basically that E3 season. Everyone said it, right?
How do you know they have games if they don't show them or tell you? That's an oxymoron, buddy.
No, of course they showed that because they did not give us any update on many games, like Perfect Dark. They didn't give us any update on this game that came out from Rare. Is it ever something? There's so many games that they did not show, give any update for, that they still was able to put on a great show this year, right? So that narrative where it is, that narrative where it is, that narrative that where it is, but Microsoft would have never been nowhere without the ABK deal. It's a blatant lie, right? It's a blatant lie. Microsoft is killing it this year, and the ABK deal is not even the cherry on the top. It is the entire table.
I don't know. They were kind of teetering there for a while, though. They got some good mind share in the last couple. Well, I mean, the Redfall thing was kind of.
I don't think they want that. I don't think that Pastor and the rest of these guys have really thought about what happens after this deal goes through, because Phil did that interview and he said, whatever, it'll quicken. And I'll bet if this ABK deal goes through, we're going to see the end of Xbox faster than what we would have if the deal didn't go through.
Get this potato.
I mean,
hey, all the Game Pass deals are on PC. There's none on console.
To an extent, until they start changing their messaging, which I hope they do. I see signs of that shit too. I don't know how quick, but like. It just looks like they have one foot out the door or one foot in PC and fucking all this other horse shit.
Didn't the APK deal reveal that Microsoft is currently making a next console?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's plans on the table for another.
Yes, after JayDub said. Did you hear what JayDub said?
You have to have another fucking.
I don't think Xbox is coming out with another console, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I don't think Xbox is gonna come out with another console. Majority of the Game Pass install base is on PC. They came out and it's over 15 million Game Pass subscribers.
Show me the article.
Okay, all right. So. I'm sending you this article right now. No, it's
updating that ass.
Yeah.
They can still put out. They just gotta stop putting out. They'll put out with more hardware, but they'll pare it down maybe. You know, just do like a
right.
Do one good console. You don't need.
I got it right here. Hold on.
The ABK deal already revealed that Microsoft is making another next generation console.
Okay, Pastor Joe. When I post this article.
Yeah.
And you find out I'm telling the truth, could you apologize to me, sir? Check the general, sir. Check the general. Check the general. I just want an apology. That's all I want. I just want an apology.
Let me see.
You call me everything but a child of God. I just want you to apologize. That's all. So just like Benji Sales and others have said, there's around 28 million Game Pass subscribers. 15 million, over 15 million of are on PC. Check the general.
It's from Twisted Vortex or Twisted Vortex.
Yes.
This is not no legitimate website. This is this is a pony.
Okay. Wait.
IGN.
Okay. Pastor, hold on, stop.
Vortex, no one knows about
He is sourcing it, and I'm looking at the source. He's taken it from a LinkedIn profile of the group product management.
Wait. Pastor Joe, is the Verge credible?
Let me see. They are credible.
Is the Verge credible? Hold on. Is Engadget credible? I'm gonna keep posting all of these sources until you tell me that one is credible. I'm gonna keep. VG247. I'm gonna keep going. VG247.
This article is from 2020.
Hold on, Pastor Joe. Hold on, Pastor Joe.
Come on, JayDub, man. Come on.
So he's saying it went down?
That's the difference, Pastor. They see on them articles, there's sources that you can trace and read.
That's
what you were posting was some guy's blog.
Windows Central.
Okay, let me see next article. JayDub is trying all sorts of things. Let me see this.
No, I'm just saying, PC Game Pass. I mean,
there's multiple sources for this.
This is 20. This was 3 years ago.
You're saying it's lower than that or bigger than that?
Yeah.
What I am saying.
Pastor Joe, this article is from this year. Pastor Joe.
What's that?
This article here is from this year. Xbox game. Listen. Look in the general. It's from April the 13th. Xbox Game Pass has surpassed 15 million PC users on PC, over 15 million.
This article here from this tech forum.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
It's
Okay,
quoting
I get it.
from those articles.
I get it. 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 But
Yeah, and JayDub, remember, Phil already said that console numbers stagnated anyway. They're not getting any more.
But here's the problem, Heath. This is the rabbit zombie. This is like, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
If you ever been in New York or something, you see the rats back and forth. And shit, like that's the zombies, right? These guys, you can
fucking heroin addicts on the corner standing up barely.
Let me show you how a potato heat is. Didn't Phil said 2 months ago, a couple of weeks ago, that they are increasing Xbox Series X sales, consoles? If the console is stagnated, why do they need to increase consoles?
Because they took that silicon away for the cloud.
Wow.
Those articles from 6 months ago that's what they were doing.
They didn't say
they went to, yes.
they didn't say how many.
They took all S's out and all the X silicone went to cloud.
Phil Spencer said they are increasing the quantity.
Yeah, because they have to, because there was a zero.
If it is stagnant, what is the meaning of stagnant, potato?
Phil said whenever he did that interview that Game Pass on console, the numbers have stagnated.
Stagnated means stand still. There is no going up or going down.
Yeah, it means there's not going to be any more growth on console. So they're looking to mobile and PC to grow Game Pass, which means Xbox is last consideration, buddy.
Why do I need to increase consoles
and when they buy ABK, it's just going to give them more of a reason to go multi-plat. That's all I'm saying.
This is why you will be the ultimate potato, because you don't understand. You don't understand.
Okay,
go ahead, JayDub.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's.
I mean, look, you gotta admit. Oh, okay.
Here's the thing, right? I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with Pastor Joe. He's again the zombie, right? He's a zombie.
I see it.
We tried to say that, brother. We can't save him or Freddie Wayne.
Well, listen.
They got
the only defense they do have is that there's mixed messaging that comes out of fucking Microsoft sometimes. Sometimes it's like they're saying what you're saying, and sometimes they're saying the fucking opposite. So that's why it's so fucking bullshit, you know.
Well,
JayDub, let me ask you this, JayDub.
They just seem half out of the fucking console, but had their heart being in it, like, you know, the console shit.
Let me ask JayDub, Buck, and Heat this. You guys are not seeing no benefits to Microsoft buying the ABK. Not one benefit.
Not to Xbox, no.
Well,
for me,
Pastor Joe. Here's the thing. Here's my logic, Pastor Joe. You and I and Heath and Buck and Freddie Wayne, we've sat here and watched Microsoft destroy its flagship IP in front of our very eyes. And then you're gonna ask me if I think them taking on the world's biggest IPs, right? Would they be able to just knock it out the park? Like, that's only a rabid zombie would ask a question like that and expect me to say, yes, this is good for Xbox.
No. Let me just counter that, JayDub, right? And this is how we could prove that you are this generous.
If you're saying I got Diablo 4 for free for $15 a month, if that's what you're saying, and that was
forever,
a steady thing,
forever,
and
perpetually.
and all the games that they had, then Call of Duties and stuff, and it stayed $15 fucking dollars. Fuck yeah, I'd be fucking happy with that. I'm just kind of skeptical
that price. That price is going up when the deal goes through.
What it would be, but I still buy games, so it's like it would still be a one thing on top of the other things. So,
no. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys: who owns 343 Industries?
Hello.
Microsoft.
Pastor Joe, who owns 343? Pastor Joe?
I think he took a phone call.
Okay. So
Microsoft, that too.
Buck, who owns 343? Buck, I got Heat's answer.
Yeah, it's my own.
Pastor Joe.
Microsoft Games, dude.
Who owns 343?
Just now. Wait. Just now. Let me just. You said that how we.
Wait. Pastor Joe. Answer the question. Answer the question. No. We moved on. We moved on. Who owns? No, we moved on. We moved on, Pastor Joe. Who owns 343, Pastor Joe?
Listen to this. Before I move on to that.
No, we don't. We already moved on. We already moved on.
Let me address it because you're not going to run away from
No, Freddie Wayne asked the question. We were trying to answer the questions of the chat.
Freddie, I would answer that.
Who owns 343? Who owns it? Does Sony own it?
Listen.
Does Ubisoft?
I will answer that just now.
Does Almighty Next Gen 720 Johnson own 343?
2 seconds to fucking answer, weirdo.
Pastor Joe, just answer the question, and you can have the floor. Who owns 343? That's it.
Everyone knows
1,
that.
2, 3. Who? Just answer it. Then. Answer it. 1, 2, 3. Who owns 343?
I am not going to say something.
Okay. You ain't gonna ask. Okay. So, hey chat. Who owns 343 Studios or 343 Industries? Who owns them? Can somebody in the chat tell me? Because I think Freddie Wayne is thinking Ubisoft own them. Or Freddie Wayne thinks EA owns 343. Right?
JayDub, here why you are the generous, right? You said that Microsoft destroyed or Xbox destroyed Halo, right?
Yes.
Now,
I said they destroyed their flagship IP.
Listen. I would say that Microsoft did and Xbox did a poor job adjusting to this new wave of shooters and implementing.
So it's Microsoft's fault. Okay, thank you. It's Microsoft's fault. Thank you. Can we move on? Thank you, Pastor Joe. You already said it. You just said it was bad management by Microsoft. You just said it was bad management by Microsoft. Yes. Thank you. Let's move on to the next one. Yes. Tadafo, let me get the chat. Tadafo said Freddie Wayne is smoking crack with Ridge. Oh man. Hey, that's crazy. Bruh man from the fifth floor. Hold on, I gotta get the chat, Pastor Joe. Hold on. Bruh man from the fifth floor said GT7 and VR is crazy. I like Forza Motorsport, but the VR mode in GT7 is a feature Forza can't replicate currently. It elevates GT7. Xbox is dead. Big facts. Freddie Wayne, they killing you in the chat, brother. I hate to say it, but yeah, they said
he's been killing us in the chat.
As Modus said, they made Halo built for Game Pass. Oh man. Okay, go ahead, Pastor. We ready to listen to you, bro.
Right. So I would say that that's not a true statement where you said Microsoft destroyed.
You said it.
Everything.
You said their management. They mismanaged it.
No, I said that they did not adjust the new.
Okay then.
Right?
Yeah,
that's Microsoft's fault then.
Okay then.
No problem.
In the story. Let's move on.
I can be objective that hear what. That yes, it was Microsoft fault.
Thank you. Finally, did it take 20 minutes? Did it take 20 minutes for you to say that, Pastor Joe? Jesus.
But hear how you can't even be genuine with your.
You said it. You just said it.
Let me finish, not JayDub. Here why it is you cannot be genuine because you on one side you are saying that Microsoft destroyed Halo. But you fail to say that on the other side, they blowed up Minecraft. Minecraft has more players now.
They didn't blow up Minecraft. Minecraft was...
All they did was buy a huge game. That's all they did.
They bought Minecraft, and that's it. They did literally nothing else. It was already booming.
Who owns Minecraft?
Microsoft bought them.
That doesn't mean that it was their idea. The only thing they've done is made shit work.
Yes.
Put that marketplace in there and monetized everything.
Hey, now that Microsoft
community's pissed.
Hold on, now that Microsoft has bought ABK, Pastor Joe is finna say the reason why COD is so big is because of Microsoft. Do you see how this is zombie? It's a zombie. I told you they got rabies. Man. That's why we're talking. Let's move on with the topic. All right. So we see some of the effects of the rabies, the zombie rabies, right? These clickers. We're gonna call them Xbox clickers. You know, it is what it is. These Xbox clickers, they've changed the narrative. They've changed the narrative, and it got to the point where it's no longer about getting great games. It's about who owns more studios and who's spending more. And here's the hold on, let me finish. And here's the sad part about it, right? All of these games are coming to Xbox. All these games are going to Nintendo. All these games going to, like, literally, if you own a Xbox console, Pastor Joe has already stated previously, some kind of way, he said it's your fault if you bought an Xbox Series console because Phil said you weren't gonna get no game for the first 3 years. He said it's your fault. You're the dumbass. Okay, 2 years, right? Okay, 2 years, right? It was your fault for buying Xbox. You literally just
because guess what? All the persons did not get any AAA games from Microsoft. We had a lot of third-party games that you didn't have to pay to $7
Pastor Joe,
we got that day one. We got those games day one on Game Pass.
Pastor
and
Joe,
guess what? You were able to enjoy those games. However, let me just say this.
You sounded like a potato now, Pastor Joe.
JayDub, let me just say this. Let me say that there are many studios that is under Microsoft and many studios that launch successful games. They sold well. They did well on Game Pass.
Where are the games? They don't sell. What are you talking about?
They did well on Game Pass. Actually, Microsoft.
Those games don't sell.
Okay, Pastor Joe had to go to that coon room. He's a potato. I'm sorry. We had enough of Pastor Joe. We tried. The spirit of Almighty Next Gen 720 Johnson kicked in. I can't play that song. I can't play the music. But right now, in spirit, that song is playing. Pastor Joe is in the room, and you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. We had enough of this. We can't let these clickers run wild in here. We can't. Back to a civilized conversation. These guys have stopped caring about the games. They start caring more about the executives. Do you see how Pastor Joe was smiling from ear to ear when I mentioned the word Phil Spencer? He started smiling. His voice went up about 3 or 4 octaves. You can tell he just had this adoration. He had the twinkle in his eyes. Like I don't understand how, like, even Freddie Wayne is the same way. When you mention Phil Spencer or Aaron Greenberg, they just get all giddy.
Areolas.
They get all giddy. Yeah, the areolas perk up. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. Just like Ryan Landis said, Phil is their deal leader. Big facts. He's their Kim Jong-un. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Did you see Major Nelson left?
Yes, Major Nelson said he had enough of the cult. He got tired of seeing grown men get full boners at the thought of Phil Spencer.
One of the big guys from 343 or whatever left for Bungie.
For Bungie.
To work on Marathon.
But they're saying that it's because they're draining the swamp. That's the swamp. Major Nelson is the swamp, I guess.
Major Nelson really didn't do anything but just
if they're going to drain the swamp, get rid of Phil.
Yeah. Look,
sadly, you'd have to get
Freddie Wayne in the chat being zesty with the painted nails. Oh man, not like this. This is a PG-13 podcast, sir. Please. Oh man.
Yeah, Major Nelson was more marketing. He didn't have any power or anything like that. He was a, marketing guy, really,
Yeah. Well, we're waiting, right, for Phil Spencer to go ahead and take that dirt nap. When it comes to getting fired,
go to the old folks home.
Yeah, it's time for him to listen. A lot of these guys need to go.
He's got to go live on a farm.
The deal went through. They're gonna get their multi-million-dollar payout, right? Bobby Kotick gonna get his $4 million payout. Lucy Lou or Lulu, whatever her name is, she's gonna get her payout, right? All these executives gonna get their payout. And they're not going to care what the hell happens to Xbox. They're not going to care what happens to any of that. That's just kind of what it is. But my whole thing is,
because they're already putting on TVs and they want to come out with that streaming stick. They just put that on the back shelf.
that's why I said there's not going to be a next generation Xbox console, because that streaming stick, because of the TV, because of the consoles you already have, because majority of the Game Pass subscribers are already on PC. So the console is very niche. It is. It's niche to the fact that they came out with a well, I'm not even gonna say a mid-gen refresh. Phil Spencer said the Xbox Series X is your mid-gen refresh. He said the Series S is like the current gen console. Phil Spencer said that. So that tells you where Xbox gaming is. But these guys seem to not care. As long as Phil Spencer is handsome, as long as he have drinks with him, as long as he smiled to him and he tweets him and all that stuff. Jay Boston Dunn, what's good, my brother? Long time no see. It's crazy.
Hey, do you think they're gonna bring out bundles anymore now that Starfield's being bundled with every CPU and GPU that AMD sells?
No, they knew that. They knew that that game wouldn't sell many copies. It's in Game Pass. They're gonna have some people to try out Game Pass for a month, and then those subscribers gonna leave.
They said that their forecast was it was going to sell 10 million on PlayStation.
Yeah, they said for both for Starfield and that other game, right?
No, I think it was just Starfield. They were saying it was going to sell like 10 million on console on PS5.
Yeah, so they're not going to get to 10 million from the PlayStation gamers, so that they won't be able to recoup that money. And Game Pass is free, right? As far as like you can get the dollar deals. You know,
On
most
PC,
people,
on PC you can.
yeah, on PC. So people will try it out. I hope Starfield is good. I hope it's a high Metacritic game. If not, the dudes will kick the can down the road. They'll say wait for Forza. They'll say wait for Hellblade. They'll say wait for whatever the other game in the future that's coming out. You see what I'm saying?
I just think it's funny they made fun of that Death Stranding for being a walking sim, and now they're going to be walking all over Starfield because that's all you can do is walk.
Well, it's just like Hellblade. Hellblade is a walking simulator. It didn't become a, you know, it only.
Yeah, they haven't even shown gameplay yet.
Nah, we have. We're still getting the same fucking
like combat and like like head, actual button prompts.
We're still getting like the facial capture footage and stuff like that. That's crazy. But that leads me to another question, Heath and Buck. Why is it the Xbox fan base don't care about games? There was a point in time where they actually used to care about games. Sure, they didn't buy them, but they used to care. They used to care. What happened to when they just, why did they stop caring about games?
I mean, I don't know, that culture of the ones that do, it's still there, but it just became their energy had to get focused on all this other stuff as the culture grew into this other entity that doesn't really care about games, or that cares about the celebrity or whatever, like all the stuff that it's become now, which isn't the same as the community that was when it started. You know, it's grown, everything's grown, social media and shit. So I think they're focused. They started focusing on other stuff that kind of became what they were focused on, which is, you know, this, for instance, this deal.
Yeah.
And power and all that shit was once upon a time.
Yeah.
You know, in the Xbox industrial complex, as I like to call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here, guys? Literally, where do we go from here?
More layoffs?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious myself because you've seen all these different things change so quickly within these communities. focus on different stuff, and then this is, you know, one minute they're warring with goddamn IGN, next they're warring with freaking Lena Khan or something, and bringing the stench of the fucking crumb side into politics, and then bringing the fucking disgusting nastiness of politics over the you know, gaming community. I don't really fuck with that. I don't like that shit.
But you've seen it just like I've seen it the last couple of weeks. We've seen some of our best friends
it's good.
turn into full blown MAGA.
Well, but also because
over
they
this
have
shit.
but also because there's a little bit of there's not, it's not like they're not self-aware of it. Like you see the self-awareness, like they know that they're kind of
Well, I mean,
conflicted, as well as they know they've already infected or afflicted fucking the people under them that are kind of their,
yeah.
you know, their little their cult. You know.
Yeah, but this is something new, Buck. This is
It happens very, dude. That's
this
what I'm
is
saying.
crazy.
It's the quickening, like that book.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the quickening. We're
Yeah.
in the shattering. It's this fucking information age, the artificial intelligence we're going into. This is all the post-disclosure world and the parallels to that, and then what we're going through here and this shit. It's kind of there, you know. And it's just rapid. It's happening very fast. You know.
But here's the thing. I think it's very dangerous, because if these guys were able to be regular gamers one day and out of the blue stop caring about games and start getting into politics and start attacking politicians and consumer advocacy groups and women and kids, and just barking and foaming at the mouths and becoming lawyers and paralegals and just doing all kind of crazy stuff that we've never ever seen in the history of gaming before.
Oh, you know what else?
Go ahead.
There's artificial intelligence within there. So I'm talking about that. But then that's the spin on the whole thing, is that sometimes you might be arguing with a goddamn robot. You think this is some fucking Xbox fan, and we're arguing with a goddamn gray alien or some shit.
Oh.
No, but hey, the people we know on Twitter that are on there that did this big flip, like especially when Phil did that interview, that's when we really noticed it.
I'm
We've
just saying
seen
that's
that.
why it's getting really crazy, and it just everything that has to do with social media is crazy.
And I think that's what it is, Buck. They want their 15 minutes. They want to be social media. They want to have that check mark next to their name. It's about that. They don't give two shits about gaming. You can tell, because, you know what I mean? Consolidation is not good for gaming. You know what I mean?
Hot topics.
I used to think, right? I used to think that it was brain damage that came from it was emotional damage and brain damage that came from years and years of hoping Xbox would get some great games in years and years of not getting that. I thought that affected, but it seems like it kind of like kickstarted in overdrive when Phil Spencer came out and raised the white flag when it came to that interview. I think that is when I noticed the guys go fucking balls to the wall, batshit crazy.
Oh, I said that was definitely a cutoff point as far as the disconnect between what the community used to be, as far as like the Xbox community, and then what it is now, and it parallels with them and changing the branding and then of course this generation in particular, because
my brother Jose, what's good? Jose Betancourt, what's good, brother?
But definitely, because he didn't say that before. It was almost like a little bomb he dropped, kinda, where it was
he was stressed,
more in your face, and more. Instead of you have to read between the lines. You know?
Yeah, he got tired of lying to people, and I think his job was on the line. He had a come to Jesus moment. He said, I'm gonna just lay it on these guys. This is what it is. Stop asking me for great games. Stop asking me for this. This is just what it is. We're never gonna be in first place or second place. We're always gonna be in third place. We're gonna try to do this. We're gonna try to do that. But other than that, leave me alone.
Okay, well, here's a possible thing though. The fact that you're known as a liar could be a benefit, because that means what if any time that fucking narrative that he said in that interview changes? So the fact that he's a liar could be
it could, but
like, what if he just changes up the whole fucking thing? Like, that's why I was trying to get Dad to ask Pastor, okay, what is it that you're hearing that I don't know? You're telling me buckle up, all this shit. What's gonna happen?
Here's the thing, Buck.
Xbox changed complete gears. Like,
Xbox has been a thing it's been in last place. It's been a failure for 24 years. You don't all of a sudden just wake up one day from 24 years of failing and become a winner, right? That just doesn't happen. But I did look at it from this direction. I think that interview kind of just told you it was what it was when it comes to the console space. We know Microsoft is really focusing towards cloud and mobile phones. That's where they're transitioning to. So the console itself, we already agree. Freddie Wayne already said the console is going away, right? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a console gamer. Yes, I got PC. Yes, I got all of that. But look, Freddie Wayne just said it again. Phil Spencer decided years ago to switch the focus from Xbox console to Xbox everywhere. Here's the thing. Xbox everywhere has been a thing for the last 7 years. They've had access to 3 billion gamers for 7 years. Why aren't people partaking? If you have access to 7 billion people, but you only have 28 million people even subscribing for a month for $10, what makes you think you're ever going to get to 3 billion or 5 billion or 20 billion or whatever many billions you're looking for?
Well, they want to buy their way there. That's
that's kind of beside the point for me. From just as a gamer, that worries you because console is what gives gaming the what makes them, gives us the big fucking games and keeps it huge.
Freddie Wayne, Game Pass has been out for going on 8 years now.
But if that can change,
Game Pass isn't new. It's been a thing for 7 years. They've had access to 3 billion people, right? If you include the PC and mobile phones.
Nintendo service has more subs than Game Pass.
Exactly. Well, everything has more subs than Game Pass, right? So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't get it, but I'm gonna be honest.
We have to wait for the technology to catch up now.
But here's the thing: majority of our friends, majority of the people that we know, game on a console. Why is it the rabid zombies, the clickers, the Xbox clickers? Why is it that they were so quick to just give up on the Xbox just because Phil says he's giving up on Xbox? Like, why do they adapt Phil Spencer's talking points as their own gaming habits so quickly?
Because it's not about gaming, it's about social media. Because we've seen it. We've seen who them people are. One guy will post something and then you'll see 10 different ones post almost the same thing word for word. You know what I mean? We see it all the time.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
You want to give their consoles up to the Matrix too, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
That's what like the cloud is, or playing, if you're expecting your big AAA game still, when it's on everything, including phones, that means you got a PC somewhere sitting in a pod on a big ship, like in the fucking Matrix and shit.
Yeah.
You don't get to own the console. It's like sitting in the ship doing it. Yeah.
I find it funny they're trying to push this cloud when they know the infrastructure isn't there yet. Nowhere is the infrastructure really there to be cloud, all cloud, none in the world. So they're pushing shit that's not even there. It might never be there because of how the cable companies have shit tied up and, for a million other reasons, you know what I mean? That it might take who knows how long before the infrastructure is there. So, you know what I mean?
We gotta start disclosing
they're forcing it. They're forcing this shit for no reason.
Technology first. And then we'll be able to do it, because Otherwise,
that's
I'm not
true.
expecting triple A. If a game has to be made for everywhere and all that shit, that's just not good for the variety of gaming we want with just
And they need to quit
which
forcing
consoles
this
are for
mobile
us.
shit.
And the economy of it. But then again, everybody's playing on different shit now. So
Hey, I want to give a special shout out to the homie Rome. I know you guys have seen him in Next Gen's chat. You guys have seen him in my chat. You guys have seen him everywhere else, even on Twitter. Salute to my brother. Please, guys, pray for him. At the moment, he's battling stage 4 cancer. We know he's going to make through it. We trust in God, and we believe that God's going to heal him and make him have a full recovery. So, if you guys see him out there on Twitter or something like that, just send your love and send your prayers his way. Yeah. So, I'm going to be honest. Again, the console war used to be fun because we used to battle game for game, hardware for hardware. It was fun, and I just seen some of the dudes just go batshit crazy overnight, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what happened? It really took the fun out of it. Now, mind you, kind of has nothing to do with the whole Activision Blizzard thing. Microsoft got it. Good. Kudos to them. Right? I still believe it is, before Xbox console reap any benefits of any of this stuff, before they get any new IPs or anything like that, it's going to take, years. So we'll probably be in the next generation if they ever see any benefit for that. So, but kudos to them. Kudos to Microsoft for doing that, right? But I'm worried about the actual gamer, the Xbox gamer, how they were able to change so quickly and just become rabid politicians, lawyers, news watchers, and just, I've never seen anything like it. And I know it has to be something that's mental, emotional, and it could come, being last place for so many years, it does something to a person. I don't understand, right? I personally don't understand why it's like, if you decided to dedicate yourself to this one platform, it's the last place, doesn't have the great games, they're constantly apologizing for it, and it's such a letdown for the last 10, 15 years. Why do you stick by that? Why is it a win? Why are you holding a line for a piece of plastic that has continuously let you down? And now you have to dedicate another 5 to 10 years of your life and hoping, like Pastor Joe, oh yeah, we're going to get games. You got to wait, give it time. We've been saying that for the last 10, 15 years, right? With Xbox. What keeps these guys motivated to keep doing that? Like, I don't understand that. Do you guys know?
I mean, I see it just from an outside perspective. Just look, it's just a subculture, super subculture of nerd video game geekdom.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. It's kind of similar to, like, even back in the day, like in the early days of console wars and shit on the online space. You remember like message boards and shit.
Yeah.
So I mean it's this is the extension of that subculture, but now the subculture has turned into the social media, and then content creator subculture, and then influencers, right?
Yeah.
And now also the celebrity that surrounds the executive, which is kind of like, so now it's like a TMZ kind of thing, or
But how did you make?
Like,
you're an
it's
executive.
Grown. It's grown along with the video game.
But Buck, how do you become an executive celebrity when you've been last place for the last 24 years?
That was
like,
something.
It's like Xbox.
They cultivated it.
Oh, okay. Again, it goes back to what C Fresh said. It's a cult.
Well, yeah, it was cultivated between the corporation and the so whatever you call that, influencers and shit. And it was a direction they went in, and they kind of cultivated it.
Okay, so they said, "Listen, we can't get a
You've
bunch
seen
of
the memes. You've seen the years of fucking crap gamers. Every
Yeah.
video he makes has Phil Spencer there smiling and shit. You know he started that years ago. So it was kind of built up to this. It's like it's just the direction they went in. That's the kind of cultures that started to develop on purpose, like kind of through the Xbox branding, and it's what they did. I don't know. I don't know why they just. That's how I see it anyway. As a, somebody's just looking at it from, I'm an alien, so you just look at everything and kind of like I'm an anthropologist or something.
Yeah. I just
JayDub, it was definitely that fucking interview that broke them, because right after that, that's when we saw them posting nonstop. Yeah.
I kind of think that interview did it too. I think that interview hit different, right? It wasn't that normal bullshit that he would normally tell us. We would have to read between the lines. He was like direct. He was upfront and direct. And I think even Buck and I talked about it, how even after the interview, you had guys turn around and say what he meant was, you know what I'm saying? They literally said they tried to decipher what Phil Spencer said. How can you decipher something that this man said? It's in 4K. It's clear. We don't need you to interpret what he said.
They might point with a couple little lines, or maybe you could spin it a different way, because if you look at it from a whole context, he was saying a little bit different. But you fast forward to the beginning.
There was nothing.
Yeah, but even at the beginning of the interview, when he started it with, and people aren't gonna like this, and then he goes about saying it. So he's, there's no way you can spin what he's saying at that juncture for sure.
It's crazy. And I'm going to try to add this video, because I think we do need to talk about it.
We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony.
Are you talking about mental
or
illness?
out-consoling Nintendo?
What Phil said.
There isn't really a great
because we should be talking about. We could talk about that too. Like,
we're not
if we want to face this as a gaming community.
Sony,
that's a lot of that in there.
Nintendo.
I think.
There isn't.
You're onto something like that without me, like making fun of it. There is that part, but that's in all of the gaming subculture.
I'm going to stop the music, and we're going to listen to what Phil Spencer said. Okay.
We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling.
Let
Nintendo.
me know if you guys can hear it.
There isn't really a great or win for us, and I know that will
it's going to take a while for us to see it.
I hear
it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have in certain cases very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform, but we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when
Buck, the fact that Phil said that, the fact that he said, I know this is going to upset Freddie Wayne and Pastor Joe. The fact that he had to point those two knuckleheads out because he knew they would start crying and whining and try to spin that shit. The fact that he knew his fan base would have a problem with what he was saying, that's a problem.
Yeah, and you know what, JayDub? He wasn't lying when he said that one game isn't going to turn it around. Of course it's not, but that's a start. You got to put multiple AAA games together, not just one. No one's going to come back if Starfield just hits it out of the park. They're going to wait to see if other games start hitting it too. You know what I mean? That's just how it works.
Well,
he said build. He said build games.
Yep.
So maybe that deep down, Phil is saying, well, maybe we can, if we buy games, it will work. But I just don't see that working in his head. Like there wouldn't be any logic to that because what's because you're buying fucking Call of Duty.
Well, I mean,
you didn't build it. If building it isn't going to work, buying Call of Duty doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work either.
Okay,
it could help.
Freddie Wayne,
help your service.
Come into the Discord and if you can and explain to us what you mean. We're console gamers. We don't care about mobile phones, cloud, or any of that other shit. Who is Phil trying to sell it to?
Mobile and PC, that's who.
Okay,
Xboxes will be last.
He's trying to sell to mobile, right? Mobile people have access to Game Pass right now. They're not partaking. Yep. So they're not partaking. That's what I understand. There's over 3 billion PCs.
On there, you'll alienate your whole fan base because we don't play mobile games. They're completely separate, but they're trying to push it all into one, and it doesn't work like that.
Well, they're pushing the console fan base out, and they're hoping that they grab the mobile fan base. But the mobile fan base don't play the type of games that they won't. Now, maybe with the King.
That's why they bought King.
No. Listen, they didn't buy King. They bought ABK that comes with King. I'm just saying, maybe, right? But no. Listen, just like Minecraft, when they bought Minecraft, right? Maybe they'll buy it, own it, and just make money off of it. But my whole thing, you're trading one fan base for another that already exists. So I don't see the end game. I don't see what they're trying to do, Freddie Wayne. I don't.
I reluctantly agree with that assessment. And I've said before, y'all know I've never been a big fan of Phil because I've always said his plan was to do what he's been doing, is to eventually phase out and transition. Now, for whatever reason,
we need you. Wait. We need you to be specific. Phase out what? Be specific. Say it with your chest.
At one point, I'm gonna say it with my chest. At one point, somewhere in the halls of Microsoft, they were trying to figure out what are we gonna do with this Xbox console division. Phil said, hold on. Let me try something first. I got an idea. Since I hate console warriors, I hate console fanboys, let's see if we can get some of that PC money. Let's see if we can get other money. And they said, okay, Phil, let's see what you're going to do. But we can't do a cold turkey and just shut off and cut off the faucet just like that. We got to feed the console machine for a while, make a little bit of bread, feed the fan base, see if we can transition them. Phil said, okay, give me a shot. Give me about 5 years to do it. That's what he's been trying to do since he took helms and launched Game Pass. He's been trying to eventually phase into this play anywhere.
Okay.
You see that all in the moniker. You see, we want to have Game Pass everywhere. We would like
the end of Xbox then, which means the end of Xbox.
Well, that's what Freddie.
He wants to have Game
Pass
on Sony's console, but he said because of their structure or blah blah blah, some other stuff he said in the interview that they can't have it over there. Yeah. So I mean, he's always been planning on doing this. Now, for whatever reason, somebody decided. I don't know if it was a pushback against Phil, or he agreed to it, but somebody said, hey, we can still do something with this console thing. Or they have these consoles already in the pipeline. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But we got those last two consoles, the Xbox One X, mid-gen refresh, and then, of course, each two that we have now, the series consoles. Will they be the last consoles? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
It may
However,
listen, it may be Freddie, and this is me being positive about it, right? I think because we know that Phil kind of came out and said that there won't be any mid-gen refreshes when we know Sony is already working on a mid-gen refresh. I want to see how they're going to handle that, right? If they can weather that storm of the PS5 Pro being out in a while, and they'll continue on with what they have, and they really act like they don't care, and they don't find any reason to come up with it. If they can get by that, I can see them saying, we were able to get by a mid-gen refresh from Sony, so we can keep on with the hardware that we have, because it is sufficient to run all of our games, whether it's mobile, whether it's cloud or whatever. And so I will, and then think about it. Pastor Joe argued with me earlier, but it was true. There's over 15 million PC Game Pass subscribers. That's more than what's on console. Right now, there's 28 million. Well, last reported 28 million Game Pass subscribers. So once that scale tipped more to the PC, I can see that being even more incentive of them trying to shy away from the console, because the PC is going to be sustainable. Mobile cell phones eventually with the King games is going to be sustainable.
Oh, they're gonna make a mint.
TV. Once they get that,
get more subscribers. Once they put it on Nintendo and PlayStation, they know they'll get more subscribers than what they get on their own console.
Exactly.
And how did Thanos say? That's the end game.
Yes.
Snap his finger and boom.
But that doesn't help you guys, Freddie. You guys won't have a console then.
Well, no, Heath, hold on, Heath, it's two things. Hold on, Heath. Freddie Wayne is on the outside, right? He doesn't classify as any of the spectrum. But I agree with what he's saying. It's the end game for the console, for the Xbox console, not the end game for like gaming, because I still believe, just like you still believe, the numbers are not on their side right now. We don't know what's going to be in 10, 20 years from now. But right now, Nintendo and Sony are making shitload of money on their hardware and their software and their services and their movies and their TV shows and everything else, right? We see it month after month. Xbox is the only one that's down 300% consistently, with all of this shit. I'm talking about Xbox money. I ain't talking about Microsoft money. I know
the branding,
yeah. So I only care about the games, right? I don't care about nothing else, just the games. So I agree with Freddie Wayne with that. That's Microsoft's end game when it comes to gaming. They have their foot in the door with the cell phone space. They have a foot in the door with the PC space that already compensates for the lack of consoles. And then everything else is just the cloud everywhere. They're just going to ride the cloud out and eventually over time make it better and better until it's more sustainable. They lose money on the console, so there is no
the hardware
incentive.
There losing money.
Yes.
$100 and $200 respectively.
Yes, they lose $100 to $200 on each console made. So there is no incentive for them to move on with the console. And we see it now shifting at the point. I know a lot of people like to think, oh, we bought, how they put bought Activision Blizzard. But what I see in the whole Activision Blizzard, and I think Freddie Wayne, you and I talked about this a while ago, the biggest thing out of this deal is not even Call of Duty. It's not none of that. It's King. Because that's what Microsoft has been yelling to the top of their lungs for the last 2 years. Mobile.
Because that gets their foot in the door.
Well, that not only puts their foot in the door, but King is one of the biggest mobile development.
Yeah, but that gets their
right?
They can put their shit in other places like Apple and Google.
No, yes,
getting their foot in the door.
Yes,
they moving in.
Yes, yeah, they kicking it.
They moving in that motherfucker.
they're going against Zynga and the rest of those guys,
But
right?
that's what I mean. But if this is going down, these guys are cheering on the end of their own console because then once they cut it, then you're gonna see Game Pass on Nintendo and PlayStation.
Freddie Wayne,
Absolutely.
Heat.
Absolutely.
Me and Freddie Wayne came to this conclusion
We
months
talked
ago.
about this in the background.
Yes,
Hey.
we said this a long time ago.
Hey Jay, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I don't know, Freddie, when you pay attention to politics, right? Notice what happened.
Okay.
I don't think these Xbox niggas know too much. Not Xbox niggas, but gaming. Like everything is tied into politics. Notice the Republicans use this as a chance to fuck over FTC. Allow
Ooh, did they?
Yes.
They
Yes.
didn't really
They buy them.
how bad that shit was.
So now, guess what?
They embarrassed that woman. I thought she was gonna start crying.
All of these, think about it.
Bro, this is not it. But this is not a good thing, though. If you
No,
pay
it's not.
attention,
It's deregulation.
Use this as a perfect example.
It's
Yeah.
deregulation.
I was like, bro,
They get paid. The politicians
They were
get
gonna do that
paid.
anyway.
The politicians get paid by having these the corporations donate to their PACs, right?
Donate to
get
their
them
PACs, yeah.
to reelected,
elected again.
to get their wives and their spouses and their family members jobs in those corporations. This is why.
and this is what they was waiting for to decrease that budget because they remember Big Tech has a lot of Republicans bought off.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Oh yeah, this was coordinated.
Yes.
Fucking retarded.
That's why I told y'all that they was gonna win, and Lena Kyle was gonna go down.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Well, no, I said that they were going to do a big attack on her about a month ago. I thought it was going to happen sooner. I didn't know they were going to wait this long.
No, we said a while back that the FTC was probably going to lose because American politics.
Attention to the attacks.
American politics is all about the dollar bill. Any corporation can buy out politicians.
This is a capitalistic society.
But other companies, other countries, in other continents, their political structure is totally different. They don't play that shit over there. Just like the UK, right? The UK don't play that shit. You can't buy. It's difficult to buy a fucking politician over there. They don't play that shit. America, it's capitalistic society. It's all about the dollar bill. You can buy a president if you want, if you got the right amount of money, right? You can do whatever you want if you got the right amount of money. So we know that. And here's the thing about it. It's unfortunate. The FTC job is to protect the consumer and to make sure that these billion and trillion dollar corporations don't try to monopolize and fuck you. But you have
consumers and competition.
Yes.
Both those two things. They want to make sure the competition is fair
Microsoft
and the playing field is going to be good.
When I seen that shit, I said, bro, this is what they was waiting for. Like,
Yeah.
notice when they do that to FTC, that's what they was waiting for.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah. I said, y'all don't know a lot about y'all. Know a lot about, like,
No, they coordinated. It's bigger than the corporate donations.
Orchestrated.
It's bigger than the corporate donations because a lot of those guys in that fake ass fucking committee that Jim Jordan set up, they take a lot of donations from these like really extreme.
Yep.
No. I mean regular people.
Extreme
and people
groups.
they're not putting them in there for policy reasons. They want to see them stir shit up, and there's a whole industrial complex of media
ideologies too.
This stuff that Xbox aren't even aware of, but like in media, there's like all these fucking outlets that are made to fucking.
But
she was all over them shits. Like
this is
the
why
same thing they do with like a
Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? You got people
smear
like
campaign.
You got people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Someone with no education, no background in politics, no nothing, able to get
no morals.
Corporations to donate to her PAC, to put her in there, to take place, right? Where they would normally have an educated person, a person that knows what they're doing, they put her in there. She's going to cause discourse, and she's going to vote for whatever they say vote for. So she's basically a puppet. This is why they keep putting these different puppets in place, because they know, and this is why all of this shit that used to be there gets repealed. It gets repealed.
I think it's this. Y'all know they're gonna regret this shit later, right? Freddie Wayne know what I'm talking about. When they decrease that budget, that's gonna give 10 cents, and they're gonna be bitching why is all these foreign companies coming in. You just sign your own, like doing that shit does not help.
It's
what makes it really egregious is that these guys are the same guys that always are huffing and puffing about big tech. You know?
Yeah.
Always. They fucking talk all this shit about what they're gonna do with big tech.
Yeah, Craig, my brother
And
Craig.
they're just like, they just bend over for big
The
tech.
politics side is crazy to me though. Like people wasn't paying attention to personally. Like,
Well, let's get back to the console war. Phil Spencer hates console warriors. He said that.
Console war is
I think
over.
he's even
It's
tweeted.
done.
He does. He said it, but
you gotta understand,
99% of
he
his
don't
fan
like
base
the
are fan
fanboys.
base.
He don't like the console warrior fanboys. Don't let him front. Phil Spencer hates y'all.
But think about it. His fan base is nothing but full of fanboys.
I know, but guess what?
It's a
They
big
gotta
call.
transition and follow him to the other side of the yard. What I'm saying is,
You're right. You're right.
Not when they kill that Xbox, they won't.
You're right.
well, we shall see.
No. Listen.
Phil Spencer
No.
has left the console war
Freddie Wayne
behind.
Wright. Freddie
He's
Wayne Wright.
transition.
They will follow Phil even to the detriment of Xbox. When he kills the Xbox console, they will be okay with it because
I don't see a lot of them doing that. Some of them probably will, but I don't see a lot of them going along with it.
Listen,
Because they're just social media faces. They
listen,
do
think
whatever
about it.
Well, then they were never real gamers then.
No,
because
Heath.
a gamer was gonna go against that shit.
Heath, we've seen these dudes go out and buy fucking Samsung phones because it has fucking. They switched from iPhone to Samsung phones because it had a iCloud. The app was released and it has iCloud. You play your games and shit like that. The xCloud shit. We've seen this. That takes dedication to switch the type of phone you have
Samsung TV
specifically
got the
because your executive says we have a product that we want. Like, we've seen some spooky shit, man. That's why I label this shit. It's the zombies. These dudes are fucking zombies. They're the crazies. They're the clickers. They'll do
One nice
anything.
thing though, JayDub, when this happens, they'll all follow Phil then, and they'll be
They're
gone.
gonna follow him.
They're gonna follow him. That's why if Phil doesn't step down and let Sarah take over,
Man, you let these two jabronis get away with talking this nonsense, Freddie Wayne and Pastor. What's going on in here?
well, I had to come in and clarify my position because a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
don't
people
let
think
these
I'm
try to run roughshod.
I'm a
Yeah.
diehard fanboy. Or
No,
console
we're just
fanboy.
talking truth.
I mean, that's just like their opinion, man.
There's Mr. Twitter Fingers over there, W. He can't help himself.
JayDub, what you gotta say about that?
He's Mr.
Twitter
Twitter Fingers. Twinkle Fingers.
Oh, he must be too bad.
on the politics side of the things, like
Oh,
Republicans using this as a point to attack FTC. They're trying to reduce their
Yeah, I mean, it
This
is
does not.
But come on now. She is bad. She blamed everything on her staff.
No, I know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but now screw all that, Freddie. What about these PlayStation guys that were threatening a federal judge? Mad! I ain't never seen that.
I hope they go in jail because
That's
that's
crazy, man.
That's
I
against
mean,
the law.
I mean,
Threatening
you
a federal
gotta
judge
imagine
over a video
Lane-
game.
What's
you
going
know
on,
Lane
Ricky Brown?
got some
What's
Ricky
good,
Brown.
J-Dub, man?
What's
Mr.
good, my
Twitter
brother?
Fingers, I call him. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir, man.
Hey,
I'm
Dub,
doing okay.
I got to
man.
give it to you, bro. Every time I make a comment on something you say that's outlandish, which 90% of the time, I gain more and more followers. They seem to like the fact that I clap back at you. You know what I mean?
Wait. Hold on, Ricky Brown. Let me tell you how this works. You can talk to Post Up. So it's a setup that we found out because I have a large following. When I tweet you or I reply to you and you reply, that creates an atmosphere
Algorithm?
where people see your tweets because you might not have enough followers. So just because you going back and forth with me, now my followers see you. They're going to reply to you. They're going to talk to shit to you. Don't block them. Those guys, that
Oh, no, I don't block
becomes,
them. I love
no,
it.
no, I know. I'm just trying to explain to you.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
means I pulled you inside of my circle, so you have access to my followers. That's how me and Post Up did. That's how,
like that Chris Hart guy that I punk down all the time.
yeah. That's why I asked Post Up. It's an alley oop. Sometime I would tweet him out of the blue some stuff. I text him. I say, Post, it's finna be an alley oop. I tweet
Oh,
something,
no.
making
Listen, I
fun of
need you to
him.
tweet these
He would
shows
like
out
it.
for us, brother.
He would like it, reply back, and then 100 of my dudes would jump on him, but then they end up following him because they're part of the thing, and that's just what it.
Yeah, because you're right. Because I see like those guys attacking him every time he puts something up ABK, and now his tweets get a whole lot of traction.
Yes, that's how it goes.
Well, do me a favor. The Plan B would like you to, when I tweet something, retweet it, and we want you to bring.
No. It don't. Okay, so it don't work that way, right? It's not just about me retweeting you. I have to initiate it. If I initiate something and I tag you in it, that's the alley-oop. You reply back to me, and then that becomes part of the fold.
Nice, got it.
Because if you do
like Magic and Kareem.
Yeah. So trust me, and I'm almost at what 13,000. I forgot. I think 13,000. Whatever.
Does Twitter pay you with all those followers you have?
They don't. I'm not monetized. I don't sign up. I don't pay for shit, bro. I don't pay for the Twitter Blue and none of that shit. I'm just here just to have a good time, talk shit about game, and that's it. I'm not into all. Even this YouTube stuff, right? Is the channel monetized? I have almost 3,000 subs, but I haven't posted a video in like 2 months, right? I need to take the shit more serious.
They love you in this console war space, though, Jay.
Well, I keep it again. I keep it funny. I keep it fun, and like majority of my followers are Xbox guys. Believe it or not, when people talk shit, pop shit, that's their job. That's their job to talk shit to me, right? Because I mean, all the ponies, they know what the shit I'm gonna say. They know what I'm gonna do, right? But it's the other guys.
He kind of rose. He kind of rose fast in the ranks too. The gas weird dude.
The guy,
baby.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Gas been doing it a long time, man. You should see them old videos, man. When he
but see,
it's
it's one thing though, and I'm gonna get you a little hint. You just can't be an Xbox guy, right? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of Xbox guys. There's more Xbox guys than there are PlayStation guys. But unfortunately, there's only 50 dudes in the Xbox sphere that majority, 99% of those people follow those 50 dudes. They don't branch out and follow new guys.
No, they don't. Because they want to keep that.
They keep it in their little bubble.
Pictures at the E3 lunches and stuff.
Yes. So it's very hard. But when I see small time Xbox guys, I link up with them to try, hey, if y'all want me on your show or some whatever, I have no problem with doing that because I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't gatekeep and keep people from being over here or there. I would rather go on the small show or the up and coming show than the big shows. Now you guys have seen me everywhere, right? Somebody asks, I kind of say, if I got time, I'll do it. You might see me on Our Lord's podcast. You might see me over here on this podcast, Xbox, PlayStation. It don't matter.
Maybe over there too.
Yeah, I'm on everybody's shit, but.
You haven't been on the arcade, JayDub, and that's
well, brother. I'm gonna be honest. I have never got an invite, my brother, and I get it. I get it. I get it. It's crazy. I never thought that I would end up on the State of Gaming before I would Ricky Brown podcast. I just never thought.
I don't know how that happened, brother.
But it happened, and you know what I'm saying. It's good.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I started the arcade, you weren't really podcasting. Remember, you was like, I don't want to say dormant, but you wasn't doing it like you.
Yeah, no. That's because remember I took like 6 months to a year off. Yeah, that's when I was dealing with my dad and stuff like that. So I really wasn't podcasting or doing anything when you started that. And I came back and I saw you started it, and then I saw Pastor Joe started it, and I saw LBK started doing stuff. I ain't even been on Pastor Joe stuff. I ain't got no invite on his stuff, right? So I'm saying, and it's good, but I
think
get
this is more news than anything.
But I look at it like this. Maybe some people might not want me to be on their show because
bad for their brand.
They feel like their fan base don't like me. The thing about it is,
that right there is a bad decision for them. Because you need all the exposure you can get. So,
well, think about it.
Or she sells.
Even when I'm on your show, right? If I go on your show, your fan base is going to talk more shit about me, it's going to be about me. It's not going to be about you. Their attention is going to be on me. You see what I'm saying?
That creates a chat algorithm. That's what you want, though.
That's what you want, Ricky Brown. That's what you want. You want. But if everybody thinks alike and everybody,
no, that's not a good show. You need division.
You need
division.
You need different perspectives.
Yes. 100%.
Even if you go to Porter Rock's show, watch his show when we're on this show.
Yeah, because he'll bring on who's that Xbox dude he be having up there?
Yeah, but no, even us
these
ponies.
Staples be up there.
Yeah, but even us pony, we argue amongst each other because we have difference of opinion on how to do stuff, right? We'll gang together and we'll jump on Porter Rock, and Porter Rock will be throwing us under the bus for something. That's what we do because it's a difference of opinion and it works. But if you on a show and everybody says the same thing, it gets boring real quick, and then it doesn't make your channel any different than anybody else's. How is your show going to stand out from RDX or from Dirk Griggin and them show or somebody? How is it going to, if everybody's doing the same thing and you're the up and comer, you're just going to get swamped. Nobody's going to watch your shit.
Yeah,
you got to do something different.
I told Mello, I said, yo, when you and Noah jump post, I said that was good for ratings.
It was.
Remember they tried to jump Mello?
It was. It was.
You,
I'm not saying you got to fight every day, all day, but you have to have difference of opinion. That shows your opinion and what you like, and get people to know you versus just the word. The word has been put out, and everybody says everything. Yeah, man.
So where do we go from here? Now that we pretty much know this deal is a done deal, what are Sony's going to do? Because they're not going to really have a console war.
Well, now they can stop holding back, showing what they got. That's both companies, and could just,
I agree.
Show
I
some
agree.
games.
I agree. Now, they don't have to play. They don't have to play coy. Sony can finally come out and say we've bought
those new
Square
IPs
Enix, or we do that. Yeah, they can actually. Now here's the thing, and everybody has to admit, Sony and Nintendo are in a totally different situation than Microsoft is in, right? They already got their Sony and Nintendo already got their shit together. Even Phil said that they're already strong with what they do. They already have their third-party partners. They already have their second-party games. They already running. They got their first-party pumping, right? Making shit. They already got their shit together. We're trying to figure out where we need to be and how we're going to be and how we're going to do this. So it's not that Sony has to counteract. And I've been saying this for a long time, even before this deal was even a thing. Microsoft will come out with a show and instantly the fan base will say, well, Sony got to, I've always been on record with this. Since when has the winner have to do whatever the loser does? The winner's job is to stay focused and do what they do and keep looking forward, not looking back, seeing what the loser is doing. And when I say loser, I'm not meaning in a derogatory term. I'm just saying the guy who's trying to catch up to the first place. Microsoft in gaming has been trying to catch up to Sony and to Nintendo. That's what I'm saying. Not to argue or be fanboys. I'm just saying where the state of gaming is for Sony and Nintendo. One thing about it, Nintendo has this niche on where it does, but it can't sit around and be dormant as well. It can't just sit back.
The only thing Nintendo needs to do is beef up their third-party support. Other than that, they're pretty much flawless.
Well, for their fan base. But I'm gonna be honest, they have to be very careful, because if Microsoft's playing, like Freddie Wayne and I was saying, if Microsoft playing with this whole mobile bid, if that shit pop off, that is a direct threat to Nintendo, because now gamers
that mobile and that pop off,
that's knocking on their doorstep. That's knocking on their doorstep. So they have to be very careful not to just sit back and ignore what's going on in gaming. Sony can not that Sony can sit back, but Sony is
get ready more
Sony is going to continue to do what they've always done, right? They've always got third-party deals. They've always got second-party deals. They always had first-party doubling down.
They're dipping into other spots too. They're watching what Microsoft is doing to venture out.
Yes, but no. They've already been doing this before this deal was even a thing. They started in 2019. They announced 2019, right before this Blizzard Activision deal came on the table. They announced that they were setting X amount of money aside to tip tap their toe into games as a service games. This happened not because of Microsoft and this Activision deal. This happened because they said we're in a comfortable position now where we got this first party shit on lock. We got our third party single player games. Now we're making all of this money. We're venturing out into cars. We're doubling down on VR. We're going into fucking handhelds. Like they're literally venturing out into everything. So this wasn't a reactionary from Microsoft. This is
no, Jay, don't do that. Ain't nobody saying what it was a response to Microsoft.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
They're not playing dumb to the other areas of making money with the brand. It's
absolutely.
Console.
I agree.
And we know that they've been in other areas with the PlayStation handheld, so it's not like they just stay console only. Yeah. I'm saying that they're not playing dumb like people think they're just sitting back and just doing console only.
Well, you don't become the type of company that they are. You don't become the master of your craft by sitting back and acting dumb and not know what the fuck is going on in gaming. Shout out to one Sosa Gaming. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for coming by, man. Yeah, but Freddie Wayne, I agree with you.
This month on PC on the 26th.
What is?
And it's rumored to be the Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. It's coming to PC on July 26th. It's rumored to be the first game to take full advantage of direct storage. And now, a lot of people don't know what that means. Instead of what Forspoken was trying to do with it, they're going to be able to do the full feature, and that includes the decompression by the GPU. That right there is the meat and potatoes that a direct storage technology is having the GPU do the decompression. And they say Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is supposed to be doing that.
Let me ask you this. How does that compare to what Sony's already doing with the PS5 and what they did with Ratchet & Clank already on there? Ratchet & Clank didn't have no loading screens. It had the big worlds. It had the ray tracing. It had all the modes, the 120. I'm just asking for my knowledge.
I'm gonna tell you why that's important.
I know you can finally do it on PC.
Able to do direct storage fully until now. Nixus, who just got bought by Sony, is handling the port. And we already know how good Nixus is with porting the PC. They're one of the best. Yeah. And so this game is going to be like the first game that everybody's going to be looking at. Is like, okay, let's see what this direct storage is all about.
Can I say this?
I think this is going to open the floodgates, to be honest.
Let me ask you this. Okay, let me say this. Microsoft created DirectX, right? They created that API, correct?
Yep.
They created direct storage, that particular API, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So if Microsoft created this, why is it that a Sony-owned studio has to be the first person to take advantage of this and showcase what it does? Why didn't Microsoft have its own engineers and its own development people to take advantage of this and to showcase what it is? Why is it that a Sony-owned studio development team has to do this?
Because I honestly don't think there's a Microsoft game out yet that uses direct storage, like fully uses it. For, like,
why? But why though? Well, that's a question. Why?
Yeah, because they just haven't made it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Then why did they do direct storage if they're not going to use it? Like, that's a big feature.
No.
You know what I mean?
We're not doing that. You got to realize how long game developments take. Every game that you've seen so far that Microsoft has released since when these consoles came out, 2020, every game you've seen so far has been on both sides of the fence, last gen and this gen. So there's no need to use direct storage. but they're gonna have to use it in Hellblade. The next Gear's gonna have to use it.
But let me say this, Freddie Wayne. It goes back to what I'm saying. If Sony, which doesn't have access to the DirectX API, they have their own solution, right? What Mark Cerny created. If they're able to take advantage, whether it's a cross-gen or next-generation game, they're able to take advantage of their instant loading of worlds and instant stuff like that. Why is it that Microsoft, who created theirs, haven't been able to do the same with theirs? That's a valid question.
It's a good question, but you got to realize something. What I just explained to you.
Did Sony
because they haven't developed a game to take advantage of it yet?
But Sony created games to take advantage of theirs. So what's the, again, if one is able to do it with the solution they have, they had the same restraints that Microsoft had. Why is it
okay, now you're trying to make this an apples to apples comparison. It's not that simple.
Why is it not apples to apples?
You have to realize something. Let me take you back in time. Do you remember when when Sony first showed off their SSD technology? Yes. They showed it on a PS4 dev kit running Spider-Man with no issues with loading, instant loading. So they were showing that technology off way before the PS5 came out. So they've been working on it way before the PS5. It was already in the pipeline.
So when they was developing the Series S and the Series X, they only developed it 2 months before the console came out, or was this console in development?
No.
So I'm trying to.
No, you're a car person, right? Let's use cars as an analogy, right?
But okay. Here. Look, let me further explain. Microsoft is a software company. Sony is not a software company. They're a hardware company. So why? What is that excuse?
I'm about to explain it to you.
What's good, brother? Go ahead. Explain.
I'm trying another angle. Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
Now you know how car companies work, or I'm assuming you do. When let's take General Motors for example. When they showcase a brand new Corvette, we all know that they are showcasing some of the newest technology in that area of sports and performance, right? Yes. And we know that the other divisions, such as Buick, the lower models in Chevy, even Cadillacs, GMCs, they're not going to get that technology until later.
Down the line,
years later. Because why? They got to showcase that technology first. It's got to be proof of concept, and it's going to start with the first car that uses it. Now, let's get to Microsoft. Microsoft is a big, giant software company. Xbox is just one of their divisions under their umbrella. Direct Storage and Direct API, XAPI, that was developed by Microsoft. It trickles down to Xbox. So it's not going to be apples to apple.
Wait, what? Listen, Freddie Wayne, that makes no sense. If you're in gaming, you created the hardware, you created the software. Like, the Xbox is nothing but a PC. It has the x86 architecture is literally comprised of PC parts. So what's different from the PC if this stuff, like, I'm just trying to understand, like,
it goes back to developers. If the development studio says, okay, we got these two games that we have on the docket that we're working on, and someone walks in and say, okay, so does it utilize the Direct Storage API? No, because we got to make it compatible with the Xbox One because it's going to be cross-gen. Then they're not going to use it. There's no need to use it.
But here's the
SSD
thing.
is already fast by itself, just by its technology alone by default. We already know that. The SSD is faster than a hard disk drive. However, to use the Direct API storage, that goes beyond that because now it's doing the API of the GPU decompressing.
Okay,
and not the CPU.
I'm with the chat now. They said, brother, you sound like you're making excuses. It sounds like Mary Wilcox said it sounded like they made some cheap shit in the Xbox to me.
No, they didn't. See, this ain't fair. All these people that are taking advantage of Sony's fast API with their SSD.
This is bad management from Xbox again.
I agree, Freddie Wayne. I agree, Freddie Wayne. It's just
people that's taking advantage of Sony's 12-channel controller to their SSD and the APIs that they designed is Insomniac Games. They're the only ones that's taking advantage of it.
That's not true, and I'm gonna explain why. Right? I'm gonna explain why.
There's no game that's doing instant loading of worlds.
Listen, every single Sony first-party game has instant loading. Every single one. There's not one.
Define instant loading, because you keep saying that like it's
there's no load. There's no load screens.
Hey, Freddie, here.
Starfield has load screens.
Okay?
Starfield has load screens.
Say you have Jedi Survivor there, okay?
Yes.
You go down to one of them activity cards, you hit that, it goes right into the game
instantly
right there.
Into the game.
No loading.
Yes, instantly into the game.
On the Xbox Series X, too.
No, it's different. It's different. What Xbox does, it takes the game state, right? It writes it to the hard drive. It writes it to the SSD.
It's running in the background at all times.
Exactly. It's actually taking up memory. It's actually taking. No. Listen. It's actually.
I'm talking about cold boot. I'm not talking about the activity cards or quick resume. I'm talking about cold boot. There's nothing differentiating these games. Initial startup.
That's not true. And I'm gonna tell you why. Sony. Let me finish.
Then within milliseconds. We're not about to do this.
Let me finish.
You're not gonna talk like
every single
going on. It's just the SSD.
Let me finish. Every single Sony first-party game and third-party game that's licensed to it, like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, right? There's no loading screens. Once you hit the X, listen. We're talking about loading complete worlds, right? You started this conversation talking about Insomniac.
I'm talking about GPU decompression.
Oh my God.
And how that helps with a game.
Okay. Fuck it. I tried to be nice. Listen, I tried to be nice. Freddie Wayne, goddamn, I'm gonna have to go here, man. Listen. Stop with the bullshit excuses, right? Xbox is just horrible. They're hard. You are making excuses. We 3 years into we had half of the generation. We had halftime. We at motherfucking halftime right now. And you talking about these motherfuckers still trying to figure out how to fucking make shit run on the goddamn Xbox Series X and Series S. Stop the fucking bullshit. There is no hidden GPU. You sounding like Mr. Media X right now with the hidden GPUs and the power of 4 Titans. You got 12 T-flops, you got a SSD drive, and Xbox is taking advantage of none of them shits. The sad part about it is Sony cross-gen games and next-gen games and third-party games are able to take advantage of all of its features. That's something that Xbox ain't showed us yet. The mere fact that you got a game like Redfall, a $70 next-gen only goddamn game, right? Doesn't have none of these features. There's no instant nothing. No ray tracing, no shadows, no 3D audio, no 60 frames, no 120 frames, no nothing. And here you go making the goddamn excuses for a goddamn software company.
You really don't understand the you sound like you're under the weather, so I'm going to forgive you. But you don't understand the technology, so I can't even have a conversation with you. Until you understand the technology and how it works, then we can talk.
Okay. This is what I do understand. This is what I do understand. Right? This is what I do understand. I understand 2 companies, right? One company made one motherfucking console, and the other one made 2 goddamn motherfucking console. And it's a bunch of motherfucking developers that ain't took advantage of the 2 motherfucking consoles. That's what I know. And until you can explain that, Freddie Wayne, I am not going to sit here and listen to nothing you're going to say. Shout out to my motherfucking brother Post Up in the goddamn house. My motherfucking brother Post Up, K3. Oh man, outside the game tonight was good. Hey man, I tried to sit here and listen to Freddie Wayne. I tried to sit here and listen to him.
And I get it.
This motherfucker Freddie Wayne finna tell us about the ATG group and how they gonna make shit flip upside down.
Hey, JayDub, you can blame that on the Microsoft management too, not mandating this shit and making sure
that should be true.
You know what? I've never heard of the ATG group outside of Freddie Wayne. Like he's the only person I've ever heard.
Listen,
I know it through him.
Listen, ATG group.
Honestly,
Advanced Technology Group.
Wait. ATG group. Ain't that America Got Talent group?
Yeah,
ain't
exactly.
The same people American Got Talent. Oh man.
Talent group.
Is that Nick Cannon? Ain't that with Nick Cannon? Oh man, what are we doing here?
Yeah, Howard Stern.
He's got a group just like
Howard
that. They
Stern watching plate spinners.
Hey, Ryan Landis said Freddie Wayne is an Xbox insider. Get the fuck up out of here.
I am. He's damn right.
Hey, the chat saying, man. The chat said Xbox hive mind copium. Big facts, man. I'm just saying, you came in here, right, with 2 next generation consoles, no games, and you got the Xbox only podcast talking about the tools for 2 years. They gave up on the tools, and now we damn near getting ready for another generation. And you sitting here trying to explain why they can't do some shit that everybody else doing. I don't understand that, Freddie Wayne. Like, help me, brother.
Dude, you act like somehow they don't know how to do it. That's not the case.
Clearly they don't. Else they would be doing it.
Let me tell you one game that I didn't think was a good game, but people thought it was until it came out. That was Dirt 5. Dirt 5 was using VRS, first generation VRS. It was one of the first games that was using it.
I could do it. I just don't want to.
Oh man! Hey, hold on. Shout out to Post Up.
Was using variable rate shading. That was one of the velocity architecture features, right?
Yeah.
So don't act like nobody wasn't using it. There was third parties that was using it.
That was software.
Microsoft implemented it in Fierce 5, and then they implemented it in High Busters. They really implemented good in High Busters.
Like Post Up said, that was software VRS. That wasn't hardware. Shout out to my brother Post Up. He said, "How you sick and crying at the same time, Kratos?" Not like, man, starve me out. Starve me out, brother. I'm trying to give it.
Movies all day.
Oh man, listen. I've been live. Me and Buck been live for about 3 hours now. Man, hey, this is our what? Third time in 5 days of doing a 5-hour podcast. Man, we're trying to do a marathon.
They kind of drain you out.
Yeah.
I had to go to work.
This is Sony's.
Nah, this got me out. Nah, fuck that. This got me out of a goddamn.
Vic AR, salute to you for becoming a subscriber, man. Salute to you. I appreciate it.
Freddie, I was in a bad headspace until this happened. This got me out of it.
Post up said Freddie Wayne is a double agent. Don't listen to nothing that fuck nigga got to say.
I still love you, Post up.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. I don't know what the future holds for the Xbox console itself. We've had a long discussion. Freddie Wayne seems to think that it's going away. They're focusing on mobile and PC, and that's where it's going. I don't want the console to go away. I want Xbox to always have a high-end console. I want that to always be their focus, because that was my foray into gaming.
I'll tell you how that happened, Jay. If Phil resigns and steps down when Sarah takes over, I believe the console will stay. But long as Phil is at the helm, he's going to continue with his mastermind plan.
Oh man, so you saying Phil is a double agent? He's the one that's trying to get rid of the Xbox console.
Yeah, because he don't like console fanboys. He hates console war type fanboys.
Oh man, Post, you heard that? Phil don't like fanboys, so he finna get rid of your Xbox console. Fuck me. Shout out to the Dark Lord. Shout out to you. Mario Heat, he said it's a sickness. Big facts. I'm gonna be honest. Again, I'm a console gamer at heart. I will choose a console over any other gaming medium out there ever in a million years, ever. I don't want the Xbox console to go away. But what JayDub wants sometimes is not what Phil Spencer wants. Right now, it looks like that's what Phil Spencer wants, according to Freddie Wayne. And who am I to decline Freddie Wayne? He's the insider. He made a very valid point. Phil is going to put all of them Xbox games on PlayStation. He's going to put Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo. Yep. The console is going away. The fanboys will be okay. They'll just move to the mobile space. They'll play on their iPhones and Androids because Phil.
And their Samsung TVs.
Yeah. So Post Up said, Freddie don't know shit. Stop listening to that dude.
But Freddie listens to all the same people like that.
Oh man. Hey, I heard Freddie Wayne was a fourth member of the State of Gaming. What are we doing here? Oh man.
I'm an honorary member.
Hey, Post said this nigga listen to Freddie Wayne. I'm done. I ain't listening to this.
I always thought Freddie had the scoop on the Xbox.
Hey, listen. Post Up. Listen, I didn't want to run a Rest in Peace Xbox podcast, so I invited a bunch of Xbox guys on the show. I got Buck and I got Freddie Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Xbox guys. Through and through.
Buck is a
they're not gonna consider me that.
Nah, listen, Buck is not a pony. He's a Xbox guy. He just got tired of you motherfuckers looking at FTC court cases, and he said enough is enough.
Just like y'all flipped LBK. LBK used to be a hardcore Xbox game. Y'all flipped him.
Yeah, listen, Buck called me on the phone. He's like, hey, Kratos. He said, hey, man, I'm tired. He said, listen, I'm fed up of these fucking bots. These motherfuckers out here acting like they lawyers, and I'm tired of this bullshit, man. We need some normality back here. Let's go live and beat their legs in. And we did, man. We did a 5-hour marathon the other day. We did a 3-hour marathon, and then here we go today with another 3-hour marathon, man. So, but it's, you know what? Okay, Post Up said, he said, Phil stated multiple times that they'll continue making console. They even talked about the next one during the trial. LL. Freddie need to go sit his lying ass down.
Yeah, see,
okay.
I figured they got one on the drawing board at the very least.
So Post.
You can't realize they be in the pipeline already. These consoles are done years and years before they come out. So they might have one or two sitting in the pipeline. I don't deny that. What I'm saying is, at one point,
it hasn't went to production.
Microsoft was about to phase out the hardware. This Xbox division was going to be sold off or shut down completely because that's what Microsoft does. Now, for whatever reason, Phil went to the heads and convinced them, hey, I can make this thing profitable. I can turn this motherfucker around. And they said, okay, Phil, we're giving you X amount of time to do it. Show us something. He showed them something. When they started seeing the numbers coming back from Game Pass and seeing that this Netflix type of subscription service came, they said, hey, Phil, you might have something. We'll let you roll with a few more, things, and we'll see how this play out. So everything is like a touch and go and wait and see type thing. They're going to see how this play out. If they can get this space or this Xbox everywhere, Game Pass everywhere, in addition to consoles, guess what? And if console is not profitable hardware-wise, and they keep losing 200 on the Series X, 100 on the Series S, guess what? They'll phase that bitch out.
Hold on, Freddie Wayne.
It doesn't make dollars. It don't make sense.
Hold on, Freddie. Let's listen to Phil Spencer in his own mouth. Let's see what Phil Spencer got to say.
We're not in the business.
You're not gonna like this, by the way.
Sony. We're not in the business of out consoling Sony or out consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us, and I know that will upset a ton of people. But it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We're not.
Well, y'all heard it right there, right? From Phil Spencer himself. He said at their third place, they're going to remain third place. He said that Starfield can be 11 out of 10, it won't matter. He said that they can go out and make great games, but it won't matter. This is Phil Spencer in his own words. This is not JayDub or Kratos or Freddie.
That was probably the most honest he's ever been, because he was off script. He didn't have his script writers writing for him. That was the honest Phil. If everybody want to know if that was a real Phil, yeah, that was the real one, not the one that was reading off script. So what he was saying, and keyword was console. So he kept saying console. He was playing that George Bush thing, reading my lips, no new text. He was like console. So he's basically telling, and he's basically, how you said, code signaling, saying, hey, wink, wink. Yeah. We're trying to get out of this console shit. Fuck niggas. That's what he was saying in that video.
Well, exactly.
That sounds
so that he was the head of a console division and say something like that.
Exactly.
That was a defeatist type statement. So I was really pissed off at him when he said that, but at the same time, the writings was on the wall. He was doing everything to phase out. So, I mean, if anybody don't understand business, they wouldn't have seen the steps that they were taking. Backwards compatible, Game Pass, and then you put it on mobile, and then you put it in the cloud. Come on. If it's everywhere else, then what the fuck you need a console for? So, I could see the outrage from diehard Xbox console fanboys, and also I could see the mocking and the laughing by Sony ponies saying, your console's going away. So I see it on both sides. But Phil has said it, and he said it many times, what his plans are, his world domination plans. He wants Xbox everywhere. And until both sides get it, Sony ponies and Xbox, y'all gonna be fighting back and forth over this console bullshit when it's over.
Yeah.
Philip Aurelius Maximus Dominus Spencer has told you the console war's over. We can't win. We're going to the next phase, which is our software being everywhere.
Well, I tell you what. Shout out to my brother Emmanuel. He said, "Yo, JayDub, how can I hop on this? Listen, Buck, can you send Emmanuel an invite?"
I'll try it. Let me see.
Okay, if you can.
What's your Discord?
He's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Yeah, give us a...
Yeah, we're gonna send you an invite, Emmanuel. We want to get your opinion on this. Listen, well, Freddie Wayne, why Buck? No, he's not.
You want me to just straight in? Well, I can't give him a link through straight here.
Well, no.
Is he in Discord?
Yeah, I'll have to find him on Discord.
Yeah, you can find him on Discord. It's Emmanuel. Let me ask you this. And this is for Freddie Wayne. Why do you think my brother Post Up, why do you think he refused to believe the inevitable like you state? What's the reluctancy?
That's a great question. I'm gonna tell you one. Post Up is our brother. We understand that. But we also know Post Up is on a track to ascending his social media status and career. So he's basically doing this for clout.
Shit.
How does Big Damu say? Chasing the butter biscuits.
Goddamn, Post.
So I get what he's doing. I'm not knocking his hustle. Go ahead, Post Up. You boo boo. So I get what he's doing. He's going to continue to ride that train until the wheels fall off. Or until music clicks.
You trying to say my brother is clout chasing to the 10th power? Oh man.
Technically.
Hey Buck. It's on Twitter at E4Extreme. Look in the chat. Maybe you can send him. Hey Post. He said you clout chasing to the 10th power. You ain't passed the bar yet, fuck nigga. He say Post is still a paralegal. He ain't became a full-blown lawyer yet.
No, he's still in the mailroom. What you talking about?
Hey, listen, Post. I just needed some Xbox dudes, brother. Listen, he sounds plausible. What he's saying kind of makes some sense.
Xbox, you should have had your ass in here holding the line.
Oh man. Oh man. Post, I ain't gonna lie though. That Phil Spencer interview, he said it with his own mouth. I mean, I don't know how you gonna explain that.
Right. If somebody tell you they crazy, believe it.
It's hard to, I guess, dispute somebody's own words. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We got the little hook on tape.
Post Up said, "Don't listen to Phil Spencer's lying eyes." Shout out to my brother D-Batch, man. Shout out to my brother D-Batch. Buck is trying to get my brother Emmanuel in here.
Yeah, I added him as a friend, so.
Hey, he friends you, so check your DM or whatever. He gonna send you the link. My man Ryan Landis said, Post Up think he's the Lincoln lawyer. Oh man, y'all stalled my brother out, man. Y'all stalled me. Hey, listen, this FTC case is my brother's claim to fame. I ain't finna let none of y'all take that from him, man. Give my brother his butter biscuits while he get it, while he deserves them.
Post Up is an unpaid intern.
Yeah. Listen, my brother Post got it from the mud. He got it from the mud.
There it goes.
There we go. We got my brother Emmanuel in here.
I think I made it in.
Yeah, you in here, brother. You in here.
We hear you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this y'all might not know him. This Emmanuel. He's my. No. He's Oh no, he
British man apparently.
Yeah. My brother.
I thought that was Odie. That's not Odie.
Nah, that's. Hey, listen. Not everybody that's from Africa or the UK, man. Somebody said on Twitter they thought he was a white man. Ah, man.
Oh, man, that was hard. That was hard to hear. That was hard.
Yeah.
I'd rather be called an expert.
Hey, this is my brother from 60 Frames No Lag podcast, my brother Porter Rock. So y'all welcome him. Let's get your thoughts on this, brother. What do you think?
What are we talking about?
Oh, you weren't listening, brother? Oh, okay.
I was listening, but I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question.
So Freddie Wayne, right? He says
We're talking about after the deal. This whole week has been about after the deal.
After the deal.
He says after this deal is over, he said Microsoft is looking to get out of the console space. They're focusing on mobile and they're focusing on PC. That's where their focus is. This is why they've been treating the console like a redheaded stepchild. This is why they haven't really been producing any Xbox Series X's. This is why they decided to double down on the cheapest console, the Series S. So what are your thoughts on that, brother?
I have so many thoughts on this. You know, I can walk you through my entire thoughts.
Go ahead, brother.
Number one. I think my perspective, because for people that don't know, I was born in Africa and I live in Australia now. And I've traveled in a few places around. So I think my perspective, what I bring to the table is that I'm not so America-centric. So number one, if they want to reach 2 billion gamers, they cannot do without a console. And I can tell you they're not happy about that. They wish they could not make a console and they would just, be third party, be on cloud and cell phones and dishwashers and, you know the thing.
Yeah.
But because other places around the world exist and those places need a low-cost way of entry and they do not have the infrastructure for the internet anytime soon, trust me, having been to Africa recently, that's not happening for the next 50 years. So that forces them to make a console, if that makes sense. So
it forces them to put Game Pass on PlayStation, which is a console. But go ahead, I'll let you continue.
No. The thing is, I truly do not believe that Sony would allow Game Pass on PlayStation. And
they would. But only
when there's no
console. The only reason that Sony and Nintendo won't allow it now, because they're fighting for the fan base of the console, because they both make profits. Nintendo and Sony, they make money off of the console. So they want to sell you a console. That's their bread and butter. They're not going to allow someone else who's competing in the console space to put a service on their platform. once Microsoft bows out of the console space, no longer competes for that demographic. They will open it with arms open, because guess what? It costs them literally nothing to allow that on their platform to bring more gamers. So that means all of those gamers who would generally buy a Xbox console will now probably buy a PlayStation or a Nintendo console. So that makes sense. So I agree with Freddie Wayne from that logical standpoint.
But here's another twist, JayDub. They can license the technology to manufacturers and have manufacturers build Xbox devices. You know,
That's
all
true.
different sorts of manufacturers build Xbox.
That's
You
true.
know,
It'll be like 3DO back in the day with Panasonic, Gold Star, and some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, before we get sidetracked, let me tell you quickly why you're wrong.
Okay.
The reason that Sony will not allow Game Pass on the console is that you will be offering a competitor's games day and date on your platform. And that's going to be very awkward, because if you go to a PlayStation customer and you say, hey, listen, this game from this publisher at this time, right? From this publisher, you can have day and date on PlayStation for this low cost per month. They are now going to go to PlayStation and say, hey, why can't I have your games as well for a low cost fee per month, even if I have to pay for another subscription? So that there is the issue. You see, PlayStation wants to position.
That's not an issue, and the reason
issue,
the
PlayStation
reason
controls their hardware and they curate what they want when
exactly. Sony. See, here's the thing about it. It's just like the Apple Store, right? They get to curate what's in there when it comes in, when it doesn't come in. But guess what? Ubisoft, when they put their games in there, their Ubisoft is on PlayStation, it's on Xboxes, everywhere else, right? They get to put any of their games they want in there whenever they feel like it, and it's still on Xbox platform.
But do they put it day and date on PlayStation?
Yes. It comes in the service, right? So it's a service, right? Like Ubi.
Yeah,
listen,
no, Ubisoft Plus.
Ubisoft Plus, just like EA's things, right? Day and date, it comes in their service. So because it's not really a competition, they're not competing, right? Because Microsoft will be a third-party publisher. So therefore, it would be just like EA, it would be just like Ubisoft, it would be just like any other person, right? So you're not competing, right? Because Microsoft no longer will be in the hardware space. So Sony will pick up the Xbox fan base, will buy a PlayStation. They will be in that ecosystem, and then that Game Pass will just be an added value.
All right, listen, just quickly, before
Go
we
ahead.
keep going with this. I have the Australian store, and I know that works differently. But on my side of the world, EA Play does not give you the subscription tier or whatever that allows games day and date on PlayStation. Does that happen in America?
It does. Like you get to play the games like extra 3 days early or something like that. Like Madden, you get to play Madden, you get to play FIFA, all of that, like 3 days early. Yes.
Okay, even on place. Okay, fair enough. I did not know that, so
because
you're right on that one.
where you play doesn't really matter, because the games are not competing with Sony games, so that's why it doesn't really matter.
No, but the thing is, it competes with the perception, because imagine if you went to a Mercedes dealership.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the Mercedes cars, and I tell you, oh yeah, $60,000, $90,000, $120,000, so on and so forth. And then right as you're about to be like, you know what, I think I'll get this CLA or whatever it is. They're like, oh, listen, by the way, we are currently trying out this BMW promotion. So we're a Mercedes dealer, but we will give you this BMW.
No. That's a bad example. That's a bad example.
I haven't finished yet.
Go ahead.
I haven't finished yet. All right. Now, what I was thinking is this. If you now tell that customer, listen, you can have this BMW for $50 a month, and you can have it as if you owned it. Obviously there's some things about it you don't truly own it, you're renting it, blah 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 blah. The point is, there's this low cost of entry into the equivalent car from our competitor. Then that customer might turn back to you and say, hey, why can't I do the same for your own product? Now, you're saying, Emmanuel, they will not all be in the console space, so it is a bad example, but that was my train of thought. So if it is already a prerequisite or a precedent that EA and Ubisoft are able to put games day and date on the PlayStation platform using their own subscription service, then you guys are right. Like that would take that out off the table. Here's a better example. Here's a better example, right? Let me. The car doesn't. The car is the console, so you can't use that. So when you buy a car, right? Yeah. Your car comes with a CD player, right? A disc changer, but it also comes with Apple Play. It also comes with XM satellite radio. So that would be a better scenario. So I buy a Mercedes, right? And it comes with 1 year of XM radio. But then when I take my phone and plug into the car, I still have my Apple Play. So I get to subscribe to Apple Music. So I would say, well, listen, I have a Mercedes. Yes, I have an Apple. I bought a Mercedes. I have Apple Play already. Why do I have to sign up for XM radio? And they can say, well, you know what? You can listen to your Apple radio, no problem. You don't have to subscribe to XM radio. But if you want to subscribe to XM radio because they have a lot of comic channels, they have a lot of music channels, a lot of talk shows, ESPN and everything else that Apple doesn't have, you can take advantage of that too. And so as a car owner, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's more. It's not just Apple Music is competing with Mercedes. It's just, no, this is Apple Music if I want, or if I want to subscribe to XM Radio, that's something. And then I'll still have the free HD radio that's there, that's built into the car as well. That's the better example, because we're not comparing cars, we're comparing the features of the cars or the services of the cars. That's a better argument for you to make. Now listen, I just want to really make sure, just one last time, that you can access Ubisoft games and like EA Play games on their subscription service through your PlayStation day and date. Because all the information, I'm finding,
I got all of those services on PC. I got all of those on PC.
The back catalog, okay, which is the classics, which is perfectly fine because that is the equivalent of PlayStation Plus.
Yes, they only offer that on PC, and it's like over $100 a year or some shit. Yeah.
Because you cannot have
you only
subscription
get the
service
classic.
that is better than your own on your own platform, which is why they will not allow Game Pass.
No.
That's my entire argument.
But that's not the reason why.
You're forgetting.
Or that's not a good enough reason why. You're forgetting this curation. He just told you that even though there's that service exists on PC and console, it's not the same. So Sony can still say
that is my point.
But here's the thing: Sony can still say, Microsoft, you can bring your Game Pass to our system, but guess what? All those games that you like to make day and date, you can't do that with our system on certain games.
Okay,
only
good.
this game will let you out do day and date. They can curate.
That's completely different then, because then that will be Sony forcing Game Pass to essentially act the way that they treat PlayStation Plus, which is completely different from what Game Pass really is.
Microsoft is going to get to a point where there's no more third party. It's going to be just them. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, not only that, right? Let's say this Call of Duty,
right? But the problem is he's assuming that all games are equal. They're not. The reason why PlayStation fanboys are so pro PlayStation is because they tell you that PlayStation has these high quality, episodic, cinematic, whatever you want to call it,
yes, the
brilliant games.
The GOATs.
They're not equivalent to Microsoft games. So there wouldn't be a problem with Game Pass being in their system day and date.
Well, that is true. Xbox don't make the quality.
Reword what I'm trying to say without letting me say it fully. So let me say this, okay? We're going back to the question of, will Xbox keep making a console? My argument is this: other parts of the world rely on having something akin to a console, even a Series S, and predominantly in order to have a low cost of entry. So with that in mind, what you're going to end up with is Microsoft has to be forced to create a console. We can argue about whether Sony would allow which version of Game Pass, or exactly as it is, or however but I feel like that just makes the argument more complicated, because honestly I haven't run those scenarios. So for one moment, let's just assume that I'm right, and Sony will make it difficult.
No, we don't assume that you're right.
In a way. hold on, in a way that Microsoft would like, okay? Because they want concessions that they want to, like you said, they want to curate, they want to control, they want to be able to say this game yes, that game no, and blah blah blah. That's not really something that Microsoft as a company would like. They would like to be able to put whatever they want on. So let's just leave that there. It's not the only reason that I would say that they still have to make a console. The other reason that I think that they still have to make the console is simply that is still going to be the biggest way to create brand identity. Because Microsoft, even if they go third party, they will want to have a cachet as a third party publisher that says, hey, when a Microsoft logo, or sorry, well, yeah, it will be a Microsoft logo, or would they use the Xbox logo? It doesn't matter. When a Microsoft studio publishes something, you know, that this is a big deal. And again, in order to gain mindshare, you need to have that hardware present. That is the big reason that
have you not?
You're the person that Phil Spencer hates.
Have you not?
He hates fanboys like you because you're dedicated to a hardware piece. And I'm telling you that Microsoft is trying to get away from a hardware. That's the whole point of what Phil Spencer is doing. That's his whole game plan. This whole mastermind game.
Listen,
Emmanuel, have you
not? The reality is,
Emmanuel, have you not?
Hold on, please. Just one second. If you are not PlayStation already and Nintendo already, in other parts of the world, Xbox has no mindshare, like zero. So again, you cannot build mindshare with just software alone.
Do you know why PlayStation sells more? Because they're in twice the amount of markets. That's why.
That's not true. There's too much software out here that I love, and there's no hardware associated with it. I love Capcom.
PlayStation is in twice the amount of market.
But we're talking about things that can be published everywhere, right? You're talking about publishers that have been here for ages.
He wasn't listening to the show.
You know, so the thing is, when you take a look at something like Google Stadia, why did they come up with their own controller? Because they need something that people recognize as this belongs to that brand.
No, that's not why. The Google Stadia.
They needed a controller. That's why they made it.
A controller.
They could have made their system work with like every other PC standard controller, all partnered with another already established controller maker, like a Razer. They make controllers. They could have partnered with Logitech to make a controller. But the point is, if you're trying to build a brand,
wait a minute, is Google Stadia still in existence? Google Stadia is
because it felt that the thing that I'm telling you is important, which is the hardware.
That's not why it failed. It failed because it didn't have a good business model. It had nothing to do with hardware.
I mean,
your argument is hardware.
Business model as well. So it's not the only.
Yeah, they failed at the business model. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. We were talking about why Xbox was trying to phase out and why they were on a track to phase out the hardware because they're losing money on it. Then they're going to keep making hardware and lose $100 on the S and $200 on the Series X because someone thinks that it's a good idea for them to have hardware. Trust me, they're not going to do that because businesses don't operate like that. They trying to make profit. They're not just trying to, blow money just for the sake of blowing money.
We agree that Xbox would like to not make a console anymore. My entire point.
No, don't sound like you're agreeing. You're trying to say why they have to have a console.
Yes, I'm telling you, if you let me finish.
They have to have a console simply because they can put their software in other consoles, in other devices.
Sure.
The hardware is the key, and you've already made the point that the hardware is the entry way for people to get access to the software. If we understand that and agree on that, then why do they need to have their own branded console to put their games out? When they're trying to not have their own branded console to put the games out, they're trying to put their games on everybody else's hardware.
Hold on. I think my brother Emmanuel, he fails to acknowledge the fact that Microsoft sometimes just don't give a fuck. And the reason I say they don't give a fuck, this is the same company that launched not just one, but two next generation consoles without any goddamn games, right? This is the same company that doubled down off of not launching any games at launch to going all of 2022 with no games, right? You like never underestimate the power of the last place guy. Trust me.
Hold on. JayDub, why do you think they came up with the Series S? It wasn't for the American market because you guys are already attuned to Xbox, you're attuned to the power. The Series S is a play for markets like the ones I'm talking about, where they don't have mindshare, where having the lowest barrier to entry is important.
That's not true.
Okay?
And I'm going to tell you why. Because in those markets that you're talking about, there was already the Xbox One. There was already the Xbox One X. Those particular markets.
How many of those do you think are sold in Africa?
Listen. I guarantee you right now, there's more Xbox One consoles than there are Xbox Series. And the reason I know that is because there's only 28 million Xbox Series in the wild. And the majority of those are in the United States. And the fact that the Xbox Game Pass, the #1 service that they're pushing, there's about, I take that back. There wasn't 28 million. There's 21 million Xbox Series consoles. There's 28 million Game Pass subscribers, whereas 15 of those 28 million Game Pass subscribers are on PC. So majority of Game Pass subscribers are on PC, meaning that Microsoft has captured more PC than consoles. So that means there's way more Xbox One gamers out there than there are Xbox Series. And that doesn't matter if you're in Africa, Timbuktu, India, wherever. That's just what it is. Just the sheer numbers that Microsoft hadn't even produced enough Xbox Series or Xbox Series X to go around.
With all due respect.
And here's the sad part: the Series S is only digital.
Hold on.
So you're getting software content.
That's true.
I just want to know. When was the last time you guys went to Africa?
I went about a month ago.
Good.
About a month ago.
When was the last time that you went into a store over there and then you saw an Xbox One?
I'm gonna be honest. The whole time, every time I ever went over to Africa, right? I've never seen an Xbox.
Okay, that's good. Now, listen. Living in that reality, okay, because when I go over there, I have family there, I have cousins there, I have people that I talk to there, and I talk to about gaming, okay? The PlayStation 5, okay, costs about 3 to 4 times as much as it does over here in the West or in the Western world, you know. So that is a high cost, right? Gaming PCs are far more unattainable than that, because having PCs, yes, of course they have PCs, but gaming specific PCs, getting parts for gaming PCs, that is again a far more, you know, higher cost. Because you just imagine if the PlayStation costs 3 times as much, then those graphics cards that you love and that you would like to have in your gaming PCs, they will also cost substantially more.
You just proved Freddie Wayne's point, though. You just proved Freddie Wayne's point, because majority of the people in Africa has mobile. Right, which is more easily attainable because of the need of having one. That's why Microsoft is getting rid of the console and focusing more on mobile.
No. What I'm saying, yeah, they should focus more on mobile, and that is what they will do. But what I'm telling you is that they will always be forced to have the kind of like brand awareness as well. Because if you have the box and you put it in front of people, and then you're able to tell people, hey, listen, you may not be able to buy this box, but here's this app that is attached to it that will give you the access to the ecosystem. That is the play. So you are still going to need kind of the box. Even it's a bit like a you know, you like cars, right?
The
it's
box,
like
yes. The box.
It's a bit like a Halo car, right?
Yeah.
Like a Halo car is not really meant for everybody to be able to buy, but it builds this brand recognition, this cachet, this prestige that then says, hey, oh, this is a brand worth paying attention to. And so that's really why they will always need to make a console.
Not a good analogy.
Always to sell.
Not a good analogy, but I like what you're trying to do here, but it's still not a good analogy.
I wish you would let me finish my analogy and then you would take it apart.
No, I was agreeing with some of the stuff you were saying. That's why I
finish, and then you can tell me which you agree and which you disagree with. Right?
Yeah, Freddie.
So
shut up, Freddie Wayne, and let him speak.
So he's
still on this. The box needed for brand, and it doesn't. You just keep repeating himself.
If you let me finish, I swear I will let you
speak. Finish. You just repeat the same bullshit.
Okay, would you like to tell me your opinion after I make my point, or would you like to?
You haven't made it. Other than
it's because you're not American.
You think the box is needed, and we've already told you why it hasn't been needed. Like, well, you know,
go ahead. Here's
Freddie only disrespecting the African brothers. What's up with that?
I will let you speak. And then when you are done speaking, I will speak again, and I will try and remember what my train of thought was. How about that?
Perfect
Okay,
finish.
speak.
Fuck nigga.
Go for it. No, I mean, go ahead, speak. I'll wait.
I thought you had this big point you had to make, you fucking moron.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. Make your point if you think you got a point to make. Because right now you're being smug and you keep repeating yourself.
Oh, so I'm speaking now.
Oh, we had to boot Freddie Wayne, man. He was being disrespectful to the guests. He in that room. We had to boot his ass up out of here. You never disrespect the guests. Go ahead. This is the JayDub show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, brother. You got the flow.
So listen. If you want to build brand recognition, guys, you're going to need a box, okay? There's a reason that so many brands, you can look at so many industries, they have a Halo product. They have something that is not, like, look at the Apple Vision Pro. That's not for everybody to get. But what does it do? It builds the mind share in people. And eventually, Apple will create an Apple Vision Regular and an Apple Vision Lite. And so for me, when I look at Xbox's strategy, I see the console as a core part of that strategy, even in those markets where mobile is going to be the way to go, because they'll be able to look at the console, be interested, see it in the store, look at the price and say, oh, that's not really going to be something I can afford, and then be sold on the mobile app experience. Because if Xbox was to just be an app, just software, and let's just imagine, for whatever reason, you can pick whatever reason you want, that PlayStation and Nintendo are going to make things more difficult for Xbox to put their services on their platforms. Just imagine, it doesn't matter which way they do it. Then Xbox is going to be completely reliant on their competitors right now. And the thing is, PlayStation and Nintendo don't have a big incentive to just make things easy for Xbox, because PlayStation gamers and the PlayStation community are not that interested in Xbox games. If Nintendo wanted to do it, PlayStation will have every incentive, because yes, PlayStation gamers have a lot of cross-pollination with Nintendo's, Nintendo and their software and their IP and their platform. So for Xbox though, what's the incentive for Sony to make it easy? It isn't. Yes, they would like more profit because money is money, right? But at the same time, they don't have to give like full access to their platform to Xbox. They will want to be able to control, curate, and just basically make life difficult. So instead, Xbox still needs to rely on their own brand and their own market share and kind of build things more organically than they would like. So I think because of that reality, the console has to be a key part. And I don't think it has to be the most powerful console in the world. I think that's why the Series S is pushed so hard, because they realize, wait, in order to build a brand, we don't really need it to be the most powerful box, especially in a market where that box is going to cost more money. We just need it to be a product that seems appealing. It's got clean lines, it's simple, it does the job, and now, as soon as we have that, we can say to people, oh, listen, mobile, you can also access all of this on your dishwasher, on your washing machine. You can access all of this on your TV. You can access all of this on your non-gaming PC, because we use the power of the cloud and everything. So, but the reason that I keep saying that, listen, that's not going to work all over the world, is because the internet infrastructure isn't there all over the world. When I was in Africa, boy, I don't know what connection you have, JayDub, but I was not getting the best internet. Like, I could barely do a video call. You know what I mean? So the idea that you're just going to get on mobile and then stream your Xbox games, from Cameroon, that's not going to work. You still need, a box there that is going to be that thing that people can aspire to. So this is what I mean by.
Can I ask you this one thing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I agree with you. For two, I kick Freddie Wayne because you never interrupt and talk shit to the brother from the motherland, man. Not around here. You know what I'm saying? And then number three, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. The only downside is, even right now, right in 2023, if you own an Xbox console, you have to be online. You have to have decent internet. That's just a requirement, and that's with a box.
Yeah.
Let alone without a box, just with a box. So I agree with you there. But I still fall back on for one, I think Africa is still a small market for them. So they wouldn't, it is still a small market. It's just like Brazil
is
big
potential.
huge potential, right?
Yeah.
But the limiting factor with Africa, with South America, and various places around the world is, even here in the United States, it's still handicapped based on your connection, right?
Yeah.
With the world, I hate to see it, unless you live in Korea, Japan, you're in some parts of Europe, you're just not gonna have the kind of connection that you need to be able to do cloud streaming and stuff like that. It is what it is. I have a gig up and down connection here. Streaming is still very spotty to me. With GFN, Stadia worked pretty good half the time. xCloud is not really there. But I think for the most of the part, the reason I said that Nintendo and Sony would, because again, you're not competing in the hardware space. If Microsoft got out of the hardware space, Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo would no longer consider Microsoft a competitor because they're not fighting for the same targeted audience. And if I sell apples, you sell bananas, right, at a fruit stand, we're still competing. We want people to come to our stand and buy our fruits. If you said, hey, I'm no longer going to sell bananas, but I'm going to sell iPhones, guess what? I wouldn't mind selling some of your iPhones at my stand. You know why? Because your stand will no longer take any of my customers. So I have no problem. We can go into business together. I can take a percentage of however many phones I sell. We can do a partner deal like that. But if we're selling fruit, right? I want my customers to come to my fruit stand, not yours. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
But
just from that standpoint.
Imagine if at my stand, you get to sell your iPhone for $1, and I'm selling my apples for $5. People will be like, wait a second. How come I get a great deal on your competitors or your ex-competitors' product? Doesn't really matter. How come I get a great deal on someone else's product other than yourself, but on your products, I have to pay full price?
You know why?
You get what I mean?
No, well, yeah, let me tell you why. Because some people just want fruit. If my wife sends me to the store to buy some strawberries, some bananas, some pears, some peaches, some plums, some pineapples, do you think my wife is gonna care if I come home with some cheap phones? No, she's gonna say, where the hell is my fruit? Yes, honey. But hold on. She's gonna say, yes, honey. She's gonna say, yes, honey. I want my fruit. I know you got a good deal on these phones, but what the fuck does those phones have to do with my fruit? I still want fruit.
Yeah, but JayDub, in this case, you have made it so that you have a edible versus a hardware thing. But the thing is, games are games. So I just think that PlayStation would think twice about putting a competitor's games, ex-competitor, whatever, on their platform at a much better deal than they earn, because eventually the player base will rightfully so turn to them and say, hey, if I can have Halo 7 for $10 a month for your console, how come I can't have Horizon 3 for a similar deal?
That's easy. Shout out to Patrick. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you, brother. That's easy, right? The same way Game Pass has been a thing for the last 7 years, going on 8 years, right? It's the cheapest service out there. Well, it used to be the cheapest service out there. It offers you over 200 games. Why are more people subscribed to Sony's service, or why do more people, like for example, right now Xbox has the cheapest console. Why do people go and buy a PlayStation 5 more than the Xbox, the cheaper consoles, right? It's because not all games are the same, right? The type of quality that games that Microsoft put together are not the same as with Sony. And gamers are smart. They know what a GOTY is. They know what a banger is versus some shit that's thrown in a cheap service. Yep. So my whole thing is, you have 3 billion people on PC. You have another 600 million people in the console space. Why aren't these 3.6 million or 3 3,600,000,000 people flocking to the Game Pass and to the cheaper console. Because that's not where they want to play. Those are not the games that they want. They want the God of Wars. They want the Last of Us. They want the Spider-Mans. They want the other stuff, right? Clearly, last generation, there was 130 to 140 million people that decided that PlayStation is where they wanted to be, not Xbox. We've been seeing this over and over throughout the generations since the beginning of time. There's some place where people want to be. Yeah. Nintendo has not always had the cheapest platform. They have not always had the most powerful console. But guess what? They have great games, and that's where the people flock. Yeah. You know, and Microsoft has tried over the last 24 years to deliver those type of games. They can't do it. It's not in them. It's not in their DNA. They don't have the management talent. They don't have the physical talent. They don't have the willpower to do that, right? So their goal is to try to go out and the testicular fortitude, right? So their goal is, well, if we go out and buy a bunch of shit, let's see can we get this shit popping. But even if we don't get it popping, we still got the mobile space. We'll go to the mobile space in the cloud, in the PC, and we'll just stick there. The console, they lose $100 to $200 on each console anyway. So think about it. They've been third place for the last 24 years. So that's not where they want to be. So clearly, they want to get out of there. Why lose $100 to $200 when you can make more money on the mobile side and the PC side and the other side? So that's the logic. I don't know if console is going away, if Xbox console is going away, but that was the logic that Freddie Wayne threw out there. That's the logic that I see fit. Now I get it. You talk about brand loyalty and stuff like that. Microsoft has a very small ecosystem, right? A very small fan base. They at peak, there were 80, almost 90 million people. At the lowest, last generation, they peaked out around 45 million, right? Half of what they were as the previous generation. And this generation is going to be even less. Even though they're opening the doors for PC and TVs and mobile phones and tablets and all of this stuff, even less people want the shit now. You know why? Because they lost their identity. They lost their fight. And you can't buy your way to the top, especially when it comes to the gaming. That's just that's not how it works.
Well, listen, I fully agree with everything that you say there. I just truly believe that in order to basically be making video game console-like games, not just making mobile games, you're going to need a video game console if you are Microsoft. I don't see them being able to do what EA and Ubisoft do, which would basically just be a software publisher. I guess I don't see it.
Why not?
I see the argument for it. I see the argumentation. I know that they are losing money on the console, but they don't want to be a Ubisoft or an EA either. They want to be number one in gaming. And in order to be number one in gaming, I just do not see how you achieve that while separating yourself from the hardware platform.
Pretty simple. It's impossible.
Do me a favor, Emmanuel. Can you watch the podcast right now? Are you listening to the podcast?
Yeah, we had to watch it the third or fourth time there.
Yeah. Emmanuel, can you put on the show for me real quick?
There's a little bit of a delay, so it might take you
it's fine
before you see it.
It's fine.
But just watch.
Let me know when you have it up.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm about to play a video. I want you to listen, okay? This is coming straight from the horse's mouth. So let me know.
We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will, that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We're not.
Let me know when you finish watching that.
Yeah, I've seen the video before.
Yeah. He said himself, right? He's saying the opposite of what you're saying. He's saying the opposite of what you're saying. So
he's saying that he cannot add console Sony, right? I'm not saying that he is.
He's not content. He's not content with just being last place forever. They've been in last place for 4 years. They've tried everything. They just can't beat Nintendo and Sony. So they're going to do what Nintendo did, right? Which was find their own lane and stay in that lane. Nintendo realized that they didn't have the, like Buck said, the testicular fortitude to fight for the high-end peak of gaming, right? The HD and the 4K and all the power, right? So they found another avenue to fit in where they fit nice and tight, and they thrive there,
like a
right?
Vagina.
Yes, and they thrive there, right? He's saying they found another avenue, another place where they can fit in and they can be successful in without having to be in last place in the joke in the butt of gaming. And I think that is mobile and cloud. I think that's where their focus is, and it may take them 5-10 years to get there, but he's telling you that the console way is not, there's no win for them there. So why be in a place where there's just no win for you? I get it.
I think
the Xbox identity hasn't been the Xbox identity for a long time now. I don't know if you realize, right? Xbox lost its identity in the Xbox One era. It lost its identity, and it never recovered it, and it never will be able to.
Listen, JayDub, we don't disagree on that front at all. The point is for me, if you want to be number one, he doesn't want to be last place, he doesn't want to be second either, right? You're not making $70 billion moves in order to settle in behind PlayStation. My only point of difference with you guys is that I don't think you can achieve first place without a console. That's it. I think no matter how much you begrudge it, no matter how much you wish you did not want to do it, you just need it. It's just a part of it's just the cost of operating in that kind of top player sphere, that you just need a console in order to be relevant in that way, because I do not know of anyone else that brings in the kind of revenues that PlayStation and Nintendo and Apple bring without hardware of their own, because Apple, Google, Google has hardware, but I guess that's not really the point with them. But the point is Apple, which makes the most money in gaming, has their own specific hardware. So I just think that hardware will always be a part of what you have to do if you are aiming to be one of the top dogs. If you just want to be like a Ubisoft or an EA and you want to settle down kind of behind those big platform holders, then that's fine. And if that's where Microsoft wants to go, if they just want to leave the idea of being top 3 in gaming and they're just happy to be on the Ubisoft, on the EA level, where they're just third-party publishers, and I think that that's where they'll have to be comfortable there, and maybe they could be the biggest player there. But if you want to be nah, I want to be the number one in gaming completely, and especially if they're going to go into mobile, right? Because then they'll be competing directly with Apple in terms of being number one in gaming. I just think they need hardware of their own that they can fully control.
They have something though that Apple doesn't have. They have things that Apple doesn't have, and I think that's
Windows.
why. I think that's why you're not understanding. Microsoft has its own data centers, right? It has Azure Cloud, its own infrastructure. Apple has to lease out cloud space and stuff. Microsoft is number one, if not number 2, in the cloud space with Azure Cloud. They're already there at number 1. That's why the CMA UK and the EU and everybody else had issues, is because when you already own the best data centers all over the world, you already have access to all of these customers already day one. On top of the fact that you already have access to the games, right? Your whole game catalog is inside of there. On top of that, right? On top of the fact that This is a space that your competition cannot operate in right now. They would have to start from scratch because Nintendo nor Sony are in any fashionable position when it comes to cloud. Sony started it first, and Sony still didn't see fit to be in cloud in any meaningful way because they saw what it would take to do that. When you got Amazon getting into gaming, when you have Microsoft that already owns all the clouds everywhere, that is something that Apple can't compete with, Sony can't compete with, Nintendo can't compete with. So Microsoft may be willing to cut a loss, right? Because that console, the console gamer is very small to them. It really is. And I proved it by showing the article earlier saying that there are more PC Game Pass subscribers than there are console, Xbox console. So if you have more people on PC, you can fill in the rest of that gap from the console with the mobile space, right? So let's say your wife, she likes playing Candy Crush, right? Well, now Apple owns Candy Crush. Now it's in a service that allow her to play the latest Candy Crush and all those latest mobile games, just like you would if you would subscribe to Apple's thing, right? So I see Microsoft's vision, right? And I don't want it to be. I want the console to be there, but I realize Phil and others in Satya, that's not where they want to be, and they said it with their own mouths. So who am I to fight that?
Let me just address this. Number one, Amazon Web Services, I'm pretty sure is bigger than Azure in the cloud space in terms of
They are. They're like number one or number two or something.
Yeah,
like
that number one, number two.
Yeah, but that's better than being zero, right? Everybody else is zero. Microsoft is like number three.
The only thing again is that you have to define when you're talking about Xbox going into mobile. We have to understand whether that is going to be taking console-like experiences to mobile phones, or whether that is just going to go deep into the king route and just be a mobile game publisher, which is we're making these games from the ground up to just be mobile and provide mobile-like experiences, right? Because those are very different gamers,
Yes.
Like Porterwork has always said.
They're doing both. They're doing both. They're getting into the mobile space with the King, and then they're going to become a third-party publisher. Right now, after this ABK deal, they literally have the biggest games in the world, the highest grossing games in the world. They can put those games everywhere. They own the mobile side of that, right? Think about it. Call of Duty Mobile, it's huge. Regular Call of Duty is huge. Overwatch, whether you like it or not, is huge. All of those games are huge. It's just, now I'm not saying that people that play Candy Crush will play Starfield or will play COD, but what I'm saying is they're in both spaces now. They have, if you want to play on PC or you want to play on the cloud, you want to play on your Samsung TV, grab your Xbox controller, play your Call of Duty, play your Overwatch. If you want to play Candy Crush, if you want to play Licky Loo, whip out your iPhone or your Android and have your wife doing that. So we'll have
I thought you just be post up and put it on Twitter.
I know, right?
Lulu, Licky Loo.
Exactly. So
okay, cool. That's just an app.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an app now. So they'll control both spaces. You see what I'm saying?
But understand this, JayDub. My point is, even though they have now a console division and a mobile division, the cross-pollination and cross-contamination between those two is not seamless. And what I mean by not seamless is that you will have to create, something like Call of Duty Mobile. Like you use the brand name from the console and then you transfer that to the mobile, and then that can be successful. But you cannot just put Halo Infinite as it is on mobile and think that people are going to be attracted to that.
No,
so
absolutely.
The two then will be distinct strategies. And your original question was, will Xbox do away with the console now that they have ABK? And what I'm telling you is that in order to uphold the console end of the bargain, they will always need a console to be a part of that. because those will be for the console gamers and for the console gaming like experiences. And cloud will bolster some of that, because the cloud would allow certain people that, you know, they have no regular PCs but they have a good internet connection, they will be able to play those games, you know, and be having that, you know, kind of like 99% of the same experience as having local hardware. But then that kind of goes back into my problem of they want to reach 2 billion gamers, and not all 2 billion of those gamers have that kind of like high-speed internet infrastructure. So for those guys, they still need a console. So that's why I'm saying that.
But those
they don't
2 billion gamers, those 2 billion gamers they were speaking of, consisted of the mobile space. We already know there's only 500 million. There's only 500 million console gamers in space. If you add up the peak Sony, peak Nintendo, peak Microsoft, that's only around 500 million. And so that's why they're saying we've already peaked out on console users. There's no more people that are going to come in. Some people are going to drop out. The new gamers are going to come in. But that's about peak access that we have. But if we go the mobile route, well, around the world, there's like 50 billion cell phones. There's only 8 billion people on the globe, but everyone has 2 and 3 cell phones apiece, right? And not including tablets, not including other devices, right? And they're going by devices, not people. So,
JayDub, what I would say this, I would agree with this. If Microsoft doesn't create a gaming console next generation, they will have to leave the console space altogether. For me, that's 1 and 1. Like, they would just have to focus on mobile, and yes, they can transfer their IP from console into just mobile games. Like, they can create Gears mobile, they can create Halo mobile, they can create, you know, Overwatch for mobile. But I do not see how they keep a console gaming branch without they themselves providing a console hardware for those games to play on.
Easy.
I just don't see how that would be possible.
Easy. Offer it. Get out of the hardware space and offer those games inside of a service to your competitors. Do you remember at the beginning of last generation when Donnie D said, if you don't like always online, we have a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360. They're going to tell the little amount of console gamers that they have now already, right? And I think that's my number one focus. Their install base is extremely small. It's not huge. So sure, they're gonna piss off a few million people, but the amount of people that they're gonna gain on the cell phone side and that they've been gaining on the PC side far outweighs the small console market to them. Okay. That's just I may be wrong, right? I may be wrong. We may be talking about this 3-4 years from now, and I may be wrong. But based on what Freddie Wayne's saying and based on what Phil Spencer said, if they decided to do that, that's the reason. They would save $100 to $200 per console. They would make money, right? Because they have more IPs, they have more development teams and publishers than their competition anyway, right? So they would effectively be the world's largest publisher. After this Blizzard Activision deal, they will become the world's largest publisher because they publish not only on console, but they publish in the mobile space. So they could sell off the console division and still be number one in a lot of areas that will make them a lot of money. Have you not noticed that they've still been making profits in revenue without releasing games for all of 2022? Like, even when they don't release games, they still... Well, revenue. Revenue. I'll put revenue.
That's the thing, though, because when you say that they are going to be the largest
revenue, revenue, because they don't see the downside to it too. I don't want them to be in this space. I don't want them to be mediocre in gaming. I wanted them to fight Sony game for game, hardware for hardware, VR for VR, service for service. They decided to not do that. They decided to not fight back. They decided to not invest for 3 whole years last generation and to give up and to be in this position. They decided to do that. And so it's not my fault as a gamer, you know, but I do see exactly, listen, I see where this shit is going. I'm not a fool. I see it with my own eyes. It doesn't take a genius to show me that, hey, these motherfuckers they got their exit plan. They 1 + 1 will equal 2 every day of the week, whether I like it or not.
Yeah, listen, JayDub, like I said, I think at this point I've made my point. I don't want to keep
Oh, you
repeating
have
myself.
absolutely, of course.
But I think we'll have to see, next generation, 2028,
Yeah,
2029, whether or not they come up with a new console hardware.
yeah.
At this point in time, I think they will. I don't think that they will go for the Series X route again, which is trying to be the most powerful and the most kind of like
No, they won't. They won't.
all-encompassing
Yeah,
technology-wise.
they won't. They
I
learned
think
this
they will
generation.
create something between an S and an X. Like the Series Y will be,
Yeah,
just good enough to kind of like qualify into the next
the next
generation,
gen. Yeah,
but not something that's going to be coming out here trying to embarrass what Sony's efforts will be. You
Yeah.
know. And I think that's where they're going to find a comfortable ground, and then maybe they'll create another Series S equivalent and be like, listen, we'll put this shit at $200, and it's basically like a cloud streaming device only, for certain markets in order to leverage those adjacencies in their cloud infrastructure.
Yeah.
But I just, at the moment, I just feel like we are too close. And when I look at the internet service, even over here, like even in Australia,
yeah,
it's only this year that I got decent internet where I could even think about cloud streaming. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that is me paying an exorbitant amount of money per month in order to have that capability. So this notion that cloud is going to be the thing that helps them in the next 5 to 10 years, to kind of like replace or surmount the downside of getting rid of the console and letting go of all of those customers.
yeah.
I just don't see that happening. But like I said, at this point, I've made my point. You believe one thing, I believe one thing. Freddie Wayne keeps talking and trying to interrupt me, even from the chat. So, it is what it is. You should bring him back. I'm sure now that I've finished making my point, he can make his, and we can just agree to disagree or whatever it is.
I hear you, man. Anyway, man, I thank you for coming by, man. It's always good chopping it up with you, especially over there on Porter Rocks Podcast. Thank you for checking me out. I'm about to get out of here, man. We've been streaming for almost 4 hours, man. We've been doing this marathon.
I got one eye open.
Yeah. Yeah, my man Buck back there sleeping, taking his cat nap with a blunt on his ear and one in his mouth. Yeah. We had fun today. It was a great show. Again, guys, don't forget to pray for my brother Rome, and also pray for my brother Next Gen 720. And anybody else that you guys know that's going through it, let us know, man, and we'll pray for them. Keep them in our prayers and our thoughts and stuff like that. Anyway, if you guys don't have anything else to say, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down.
Oh man, listen, it was a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we get to do this again.
Definitely, brother. Definitely. Well, I appreciate you. Again, you're always welcome. Freddie Wayne, we'll see you next time, brother. You can't talk about a brother from the motherland. You can't talk about the motherland, man. You got to get out of here. Not the motherland. But he heard your point. I was on your side. I do believe what you're saying. Phil said what he said. He didn't stutter. It seems like that's the way everything's going. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for coming rocking out with me, man. We picked out, I think, maybe about 100 viewers in here at one time. We've been going for about 4 hours. It's been a great stream. I'm still under the weather, trying to get a little bit better, but we're gonna keep rocking. We're gonna keep making it do what it do. Anyway, thank you guys for rocking out with us. Buck, as usual, thank you, my brother. For giving your insight. Heath and Stevens came through. My brother Manhattan came through. All of the broadband bullies that came through. My brother Post Up fell through too. Salute to you, brother. Anyway, you guys have a great evening. I'll talk to you later.